everyone, and welcome to the Cooler Master Summer Summit 2021. This is the North American keynote of all of the amazing things Cooler Master has going on right now. I'm so happy you're here, and it's going to be a really fun stream.
Yes.
With me here is Wei, the Case Business Development Manager, and he's going to start us off with some amazing cases.
Awesome. We're gonna switch to PowerPoint. Okay, so welcome everyone. As you guys all know, Cooler Master has been in the industry for 30 years, and we have been doing cases for the last 30 years. So we have a lot of new innovation. Like this year, we launched the Master Frame, and then we also are bringing back some of our legacy product, which I will talk about in a little bit.
Excellent. So some of the new and some of the old.
Yes.
That's
so.
great.
First up, we have the Max series. So we're launching a new series called the Max. And what it does is that we pre-configure the system with our coolers, our case, and our PSUs. So what we want to do is that we want to make sure that everything inside, it fits perfectly within the box.
See, that is music to my ears because I have custom built a PC before, and getting everything in the right places,
Yes.
all those cables, all those cords, it can be a mess. So
Yes.
even having some parts, some components already done, beautiful.
Yes. So to elaborate further for the Max series, we are launching the first LR200P Max, which is the first version of the Max version. So what we did is we're putting in a 240 radiator with a customized tubing. So the tubing is actually shorter, so it fits the system perfectly because LR200P is a small form factor cases for mini electrics.
So it uses space very efficiently then.
Yes.
Love that.
And also the power supply is also customized too. The cable is customized cable. So a lot of the Amazon, when they buy a small format cases, they will buy a power supply and they will go customize their own cables, which is very costly, and you have to wait.
It's not very beginner friendly either.
It's not. So that's why this customization for the end users, and also the case itself is actually customized compared to our LR200P that's launching on the market. The LR200P Max have some a little bit difference into it. If you can see in the right hand corner of the picture, you can see the backplate can actually be removable. So it should allow you to install the graphics card.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen it before.
Yeah, so some cases have it, but not too many out there in the market. A couple of older cases have it as well. So it's easy for you to install the graphic card, and then you can install a longer graphic card in the market as well.
That sounds amazing. Again, anything that can make my build easier is perfect for me.
Awesome. And we're releasing around September timeframe, but due to the freight circumstances, it's really hard for us to have an actual release date. So we're releasing around September timeframes.
Around September, okay. I'll be waiting with bated breath.
Awesome. So next up, we have the LR200P. It's another variation of LR200P. So exact same case, but with different colorways. So we have 4 variations of colors.
And
we actually
may I say,
yes,
they're gorgeous.
Yes, we actually went through Reddit and actually talked to the community. We went through about 20 different colors, and then we narrowed down to 10 by the vote. And we finally narrowed down to 4 colors that's we're going to be launching around this end of Q3 timeframe. That's our guesstimation because of the freight situation. Again, we don't have exact time frame, but with 4 new colors. And we have the Caribbean blue, the flamingo pink, the sorry, I can't remember the name, the nightshade purple, and then I believe the other one is
sunset orange.
Yes.
These are absolutely gorgeous. They feel almost a little bit like travel and vacation inspired.
Yes.
I love that. And purple's my favorite color, so I'm sold.
Awesome. Yeah, purple's my favorite color too. That's Cooler Master we're known for purple, so definitely that's something that
it's a match made in heaven. So my question to you is: of the 20 colors, were any of them there that you were really hoping for, and they didn't get voted on by the community?
Not really, because my favorite color is the orange. So sunset orange is there. So
your favorite made it in. Okay.
Yes, my favorite made it in. But just so you know, it's a limited release. We only have 2,000 pieces per color.
Okay.
So it doesn't mean that after we launch this 4 color, it doesn't mean that we'll stop with other colors. We might have it. So we're just gonna have to get more community feedback and see how this limited availability of 2,000 pieces per color goes. And if it does really well, we will get more feedback and see what color variation people want, and we'll launch slowly and maybe throughout our other series as well.
So if you're in love with any of the colors you see and you just have to have it, you can't wait. And when are these going to be available? Is it
Uh,
September? Around
around
September.
September.
Okay,
Yes.
keep your eyes peeled for those if you have to have those colors. And I don't know, I'm eyeing the purple, but the pink looks good too.
Yes. So I think
Gosh.
pink is one of the top choices
Yeah.
by the vote. So
Mhm.
that's why you can see the pink is on top.
Yeah, it's
Pink is the
gorgeous.
top choice.
All right, what else we have? I'm excited to see more.
So next up, with the Master Box TD200 Mesh, it's a little brother of the TD500 Mesh. So TD500 Mesh is an ATX case, and the TD200 Mesh is a micro ATX. So we kept the 5 mesh in the front for the optimized airflow, and then also we did something new. So the top panel you can see on the right hand side pictures. You can really see it clearly, but you can see the top panel can actually be removable. The
Again,
reason we want to make it removable
better.
is because you can install the radiator easier. Because normally when you have to install radiator on the top panel, you have to hold the radiator and install it this way. We have to flip the case
Right.
back upside down. But now you can actually open up the top panel, lay it on the table, and install the radiator. So it's a lot easier to do.
All for ease of use. I love
Yes.
that. Now, I actually have at home the TD500 mesh, and I am obsessed with it. I love the case.
Awesome. Good to hear. Because
It's
a lot of people like it.
gorgeous. Yeah, just sitting. I have normally, in the past, I had my PC towers on the ground, but this one I have it up on my desk so that I can look at it all the time.
Awesome.
It's that pretty.
And also, we upgrade the fence in the front. The two fence in front is actually our sickle flow fence. I think some more will talk a little more about our fan series, but we'll upgrade to the two 120 ARGB thermal fans, a sickle flow fence, and then we also have an ARGB hub inside, so you can actually control the lighting software.
That's awesome. That's a good touch. I mean, right now everybody is all about the ARGB.
Yes.
It's got to be pretty. It's got to be
Yes.
colorful.
Yes.
It's got to be bright.
Yes. That's why when you also be able to turn it off if you don't like to have the the light shining in your face at night.
Okay,
can
well,
turn
it's
it
good
off.
to know you could turn it off, but no one's gonna do that.
Yes. Next up, we actually have the Master Box 500.
Right.
You guys can see the slogan stuff when lightning strikes. You can see that there's two ARGB strip in the front, and you can actually change the color because it's ARGB. We have a hub inside included as well, and you can see from the picture that the top panel can be removable as well. So we're one of the, I believe we're one of the first few company that's allowing the top panel to be removable. So we're just gonna slowly implement that into majority of our cases for the ease of
that's
installing.
great. Okay,
Yes.
that's awesome. That's going to make a really big difference in why someone would want to choose and look for a Cooler Master case specifically.
Yes.
That's going to make
Yes.
a really big difference.
So this is one of our basic cases. So I'm not gonna go over too much in details. And as I mentioned before,
Looks amazing to me. I mean, it's gorgeous. I
Yes.
love the lightning bolt design. I mean, I'm partial to lightning bolt designs.
okay,
Yeah, I am.
awesome. Next up, we have the PCIe 4.0 accessories. So it's the riser cable. Everybody knows that now it's the 4.0 right now on the market. And then for the PCIe riser cable, we have two versions. One is 200 millimeter, one is 400 millimeter. We also have the vertical GPU holder kit.
Okay,
PCIe
so
4.0.
let me just ask, if someone isn't that familiar with maybe what all these cables might be for.
Yes.
So I'm one of those people that when I build a PC, I really
Yes.
have to follow an instruction guide
Yes.
and someone has to help me out.
Yes.
So what would this accessory be for?
Okay, so for the graphic cards, a lot of
Okay.
people, they buy expensive graphic card, right? The graphic card can range up to over $1,000 nowadays, right? It's really fancy. It's
If
really
you can
pretty.
even get one.
Yes, that's true. If you can get one, but if you can get one, you want to show it off.
Mhm.
Normal graphic cards install horizontally, so you can't even see the design that they have on the side, on the side of the.
That's always been a
Graphics
sticking
card.
point with me.
Yeah.
The graphics card, you pull it out of the box, it's so shiny and pretty, and you can't stand how amazing it
Yes.
looks. And then you kind of stick it in on its side, and all you see is this small side profile.
Yes. So that's what the riser cable comes in handy, because you can allow your graphic cards to stand vertically, then you can able to see it. And some
I
of the
see.
cases have the vertical function installed inside the case, so you don't need to buy a kit. You just need to buy a riser cable. So that's why I have
I
a 200 millimeter,
see.
400 millimeter. Depends on the length of the size of the case. Depends on how long you need your cables for. And
Okay,
then that's why we also have a graphic card holder kit, the vertical GPU holder kit.
I see.
So that way, if your system does not allow vertical graphic card installation, you can buy a holder kit and make your graphic card to be vertically installed.
So these are sold separately then? The
Yes.
holder kit and the riser cable?
Yes,
Okay.
but for the holder kit, it all include a riser cable already.
And are these available now or coming soon?
It's coming, so it's probably around September timeframe too. A lot of this is gonna be September because due to the delay of the freight.
September is going to be a great time for Cooler
Yes,
Master.
and that's the time I believe graphic card will be on the market more, so then people will be able to buy out this stuff to build the
Fingers
system.
crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
I know a lot of people who want their hands on these graphics.
Yes, we can't even get ourselves just to do a demo. And we're in the industry. We try to get samples just to do demos. We can't.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so it's tough.
Yeah, it's tough out there. But when you do get your beautiful graphics card, this holder kit would be a perfect way to actually display it in a way that it deserves.
Definitely. So last but not least, we have the half series. As I mentioned earlier, that we are launching the legendary series back. We have previously called the H series, and now we're bringing back the name half. And what half stand for some of you might not know, HAF stand for high airflow. So this piece is all about the airflow. So we're bringing back the half, and then we're introducing two different half. We'll be introducing the half 700 in Q4 2021 this year, which is in the picture right there. You guys can see that we have two 200mm fans in the front installed ARGB, and then the back fans are also ARGB as well. And
now, not a lot of cases come with a back fan installed already, do they?
Some do, some might not. But now the new trend is that people want to put the fans in the front, and then you can choose whatever fan you want to put in the back.
Right.
Yeah. Majority of the fans, the setup now is people put the fans in the front because that's where you pull the air in. And if you have a liquid cooler or air cooler in the back, you can automatically pull some air off on the back. So that's the decision why at least Cooler Master made that.
Got it.
Majority of cases don't include back fan, but we fully loaded the front fans.
Exactly. But here you want to have both because this is all about airflow here.
Yes, exactly. And then you guys also can see that top panel can be removable as well. Easier installation. And on the bottom right corner, you can't really see it, but we have actually a fan that's installed on the hard drive cages to blow additional air onto the GPU to cool the GPU.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so that's why we call the half series. We want to make sure that has high airflow. And we're also coming out with another new series. It's the higher edition, the flagship of the half series in Q1 2022.
Okay.
And then we're actually going to go on Reddit and get some feedback from the end users in regards to what they want to see in our new half series flagship.
So very similar to the new colorways that were chosen by the Reddit community. You're going to be collecting feedback on the new flagship half series from Reddit. So that's r/coolermaster.
Yes.
Is that right? Okay. So if you want to submit your feedback, if you're looking for something specific and you want to let Cooler Master, you want to be a part of the process, go to r/coolermaster and hang out with us.
Yes. So that's pretty much it for my case series. I don't know if there's any questions you want to ask or if there's any questions from the end users.
I think it's really important to know why a case needs to be focused on airflow. Like a case's function is to hold all the components, sure, but a really big thought process of the cases is airflow and cooling, right?
Yes, the reason why we have to focus on cooling is because a lot of the components, if it's overheat for a longer time, then the lifespan of the component itself will decrease, right? So if you have better cooling solutions inside the systems, then you will have longer longevity for all the components you have inside the systems. So and also it maximizes your productivity for the system as well, right? So if you're playing a game, it doesn't lag, the CPU, the graphic card is not lagging, then the latency will be better, everything else will be better. What's the cooling efficiency for a case?
That's great. That's really good to know. Now, a lot of the cases that you showed today also are on the smaller side. They're more compact.
Yes.
So why would you think that someone would want a more compact case as opposed to a mid-sized tower?
Well, I think the reason why we see more people want the smaller components because they want to utilize their spaces more efficiently. A lot of people prefer to build a smaller system, especially with now there are a lot of components are getting better efficiencies. So for you to build in a small system, before it's that, it's a lot of heat, it's not going to be efficient, so that's why people don't build in a small system. But nowadays, with the improvement of technologies, you're able to put a lot of things in a compact, small spaces, but yet the efficiency is still there, the cooling solution is still there. Then you only use a small footprint of the desk. Then you can utilize your desk for other fancy stuff,
Okay, so it's kind of like how back in the 80s you had the big old cell phones that were this big, but now they're getting smaller and smaller, but also more powerful and more efficient. So cases are kind of going that direction too. As it gets more efficient, you can have a smaller case if you want a smaller footprint, if you have less space, anything like that, and it's still just as good.
Thank you.
All right, great.
Awesome.
So I think that's it for our cases. Thank you so much for sharing all of the wonderful things you have in store.
Thank you.
let's say. So this year we'll be focusing a lot about the current technology and a lot of improvements, optimizations on whether it's air cooler, liquid cooler, and even accessories.
So, I mean, when you have created something perfect and you've kind of been a master in the industry, it's hard to make constantly improve,
Yeah,
right?
that's
I
true.
imagine a lot of work goes into research and development
Yeah,
for these things.
exactly. So a lot of things, it goes back to technology and what's, obviously cooler. The main thing is cooling your CPU, right?
Hmm.
A lot of manufacturers are coming out with new CPUs, AMD or Intel, and with more power comes with more heat. So we have to
Yes.
figure out ways to, make things smaller at the same time, improve on these uh, cooling aspects.
Yes.
Yeah.
In this world, heat is the enemy.
Yeah, exactly.
Heat is energy, which is the enemy.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Okay, so what do we have? What's the first thing we're going to be looking at today?
So everybody knows about the Hyper series. The Hyper 212 is, has been
That's what I have
exactly.
in my build.
We've been developing that from the Hyper 212 Evo. Then we came out with the Hyper 212 Black Series, and then we also have the new Hyper 212 V2. So this year we have this product right here, which is an extension of the Hyper series. Traditionally, the Hyper series has 4 heat pipes. What we did this year is, add 2 more heat pipes. So now it's a 6 heat pipe. You have 2 variants. You have the DT, which is a dual tower, or the regular H6, which is a single tower.
I see. So what would make someone want the dual tower over the single tower?
If they want more performance, obviously. So if you have 2 towers, you have double the fins, and that helps with dissipation with the heat from the copper heat pipe, which is absorbed from the CPU. Yeah.
So would you say if you have a really beefy CPU, you might want to consider going with the dual tower?
Yes.
Okay, good
Definitely.
to know.
But obviously, it goes back to a lot of case. If you have a smaller case, you can't fit it. That might be a problem. So you have to reconsider and think about, what's the overall fitment of your build. Yeah.
Got it. And it all comes back to what you need as well. I'm a gamer, but I'm also a streamer. And so I'm running a lot of processes at the same time
Yeah.
when I'm streaming a game.
Yeah.
And so for me, maybe a dual tower might be a better thing because I have a beefier CPU,
Exactly.
but not everyone has those needs, right?
That's correct.
Exactly.
And also, a budget, everything, plays a role. But this year we want to focus a lot on the height and optimization of the cooler itself because traditionally when you look at the bottom plate right here,
Hmm.
a lot of coolers they have a copper bottom plate which actually covers the whole copper heat pipe.
Okay.
But obviously if you add that, it extends the height. We
Yes.
want to optimize it at around 158 millimeters so it fits into most cases.
Okay.
And what we did this year is traditionally we have something called CDC, which is our continuous direct contact. But this year we improved it even more. So what we did,
Direct contact.
yeah. So it's a
This
heat
helps
pipe.
dissipate the heat.
Yeah,
Right?
absorbs the
Okay.
heat from the CPU.
Okay.
So this year is kind of like a new variation, what we call the extra dimensional heat pipe contact. The difference between this and the traditional one would be we actually use a secondary flattening technique. So when you look at the bottom plate, it's super flat, so it has more contact with the CPU, and thus it gives more heat dissipation or absorb the heat from the CPU a lot better.
While also losing some of that height so that it can fit into most cases.
Exactly.
That's amazing. To be able to balance both of those things.
Exactly.
That's really, really awesome.
So we added a touch, to add a aluminum top cover so it blocks off some of the industrial look of the cooler.
That's really nice.
And one of our most famous sickle full fan, we fitted it with the ARGB version.
Oh, ARGB. That's
Yeah.
the golden ticket to my ears. That's what I like. So when you typically put in a CPU and then you have a cooling unit like this, the aluminum top
Mhm.
is normally what would actually show out of the clear side of
Yeah,
the case. And
exactly.
so that's one of the great things about this is that it has that just extra little touch of design. So
Exactly.
that if you don't specifically like the look of the heatsink,
Yeah.
it looks great.
Yeah, more for aesthetic aspects.
Exactly.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Okay, so what's next?
Our next would be our Flux Series liquid cooler. So going back from air cooler, now we're going to liquid cooler. Liquid coolers being a lot more popular nowadays.
It's very more popular.
Used to be around
in the
like
States.
60% air cooler and 40% of the market buys liquid coolers. Now it's kind of like the opposite.
And
So
which is your preference?
I personally like liquid cooler because of
Right.
space. So
Okay, so I'm on the other side of it. I'm
Yeah.
more of an air cooler
yeah,
person.
I
over here.
mean, everybody has their cup of tea.
Yes, everybody
But
has their preference, which is why we have both
yeah,
as
exactly.
options.
So we've been developing liquid coolers for a while as well. This year we're more focused on the optimization of the cooler itself. Our Flux Series, when you look at our bottom copper plate, there's actually micro channel tunnels within that copper plate, which water actually flows through it, right?
Interesting.
We actually spend a lot of time in R&D and trying to figure out like what's the best ratio of size and how much water can flow through it. And we spent a lot of time choosing which one's the best or optimized one to fit into our liquid cooler.
So that seems like it takes a lot of just time, just experimentation and
Yeah.
trying different things and having ideas.
Yeah, exactly. Because when you look at liquid coolers, it's not just like one component. There's so many different components, and when you're looking at the pump, we have to actually figure out the ratio of the pump, how much water it pumps out to the copper plate, so it takes away the heat, right?
So it's not just more or faster
Yeah,
isn't
a lot of
necessarily
people
better.
think a lot of people think that water flowing faster, you're stronger the pump, the more performance you get.
Right.
But actually, a lot of times you have to look at what's the best ratio. And we also fitted to an exclusive single flow fan for this cooler. It has an interconnected blade that I'll be talking about later,
Okay.
and actually helps with the air pressure and noise of the when we're dissipating heat from the radiator.
See, that's really important too because if you're a streamer, you have a microphone that is built to pick up all sorts of noises,
Exactly.
right? And so you don't really want your PC to be making that.
Yeah, exactly. The humming noise.
Yes, we're all very familiar with it, but
Mhm.
as the technology evolves, I think that's going to keep getting less and less.
And with everything optimized, we actually kept it at a 6 dB ratio, which is very, very
That's
quiet.
great.
And pretty much when your computer is idling, you probably
Mhm.
can't hear anything, which consists of the pump, the fans, and the water flowing.
That's
So
amazing.
yeah, so it's an optimized ratio. When you look at the cooler itself right here,
Mhm.
there's two rings to it. We have the Cooler Master hexagon in the middle, and we have an outer ring. That actually can be controlled by our ARGB controller separately. So for example, if you like the hexagon to be white, if you guys choose to use white or purple, whatever, and you like that rainbow color, you guys could choose that.
Really?
Yeah.
So they're independently operated.
exactly.
That's amazing. See,
Yeah.
there's a full range of customization. So let's say your build is all white. You could have all white. But if your build is black and white or black and red or blue and white, you can change those out.
Pretty much, you have
That's
like 20
amazing.
million choices.
20 the choices. Maybe it's too much. Wait a minute. Hold it back. I love it. And can I just say, I think the Cooler Master Hexagon is like the sleekest logo.
Yeah, we've been trying. We used
It's
to have.
gorgeous. I
Thank
want
you.
it on everything I own,
Thank you.
which is pretty close because I already own a lot of Cooler Master.
Well, I like that you have Hyper 212 already.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Although I don't have ARGB,
It's okay.
unfortunately.
You'll get there one day.
One day.
So next we'll be introducing our Mobius fan. So this is our top of the line fan that could be utilized in your case or your air cooler or your liquid cooler. Pretty much if you want to upgrade to a better flowing fan, which is quieter, has more performance.
Yeah, so what are some of the things that makes it have that higher performance?
So one thing is, here's a mock-up sample that we have, is actually, first off, is the interconnected blade.
Oh,
So
great.
a lot of people don't know that when the fan is spinning,
Mm-hmm.
it creates a lot of vibration. So that
Mhm.
actually interferes with airflow. That's number one. Number two would be noise.
Mm-hmm.
And so obviously, if you have a firmer fan blade when it's spinning, it has more flow to it, right?
So when you say interconnected blades, what you mean is this piece of what is
Ring,
this?
that ring
This
connects to the whole fan right there.
all of the
Yeah.
blades are one piece.
Yeah, it's one
Okay.
piece. So we actually have that on our previous fan, but we really optimized it a lot more for the Mobius series.
So even more research and development.
Yeah,
There's more and more
pretty
and more
much
and more
R&D
and more.
that goes on forever, And another thing is we tune the fan blade angle itself, so we have different series within the series to for end users to choose. And the next thing we'll be talking about is that's something really prominent for this fan is the side vents we have right here in the ring.
Can we get a little glimpse of those?
Yeah, it's right here. This angle right here,
That
actually,
angle. Okay.
actually, when the fan is spinning, this angle actually creates like a tunnel effect to actually help her, flow through more air. And we have it in the back too. From our research, generally, 45-degree angle would be the best, which we have for this fan. And a lot of our older fans don't have that, so you still get that turbulence.
Can you just spin it again? It's really just pretty.
Yeah.
I just really like it. So performance and it's gorgeous, so it's a win-win.
From all the materials and from all the aspects of this fan, we put a lot of time into it. We're actually creating probably 4 different series which may have different bearings. Obviously bearings, go alongside with how long it lasts, durability, and also noise. So
now what is a bearing?
Bearing
is
is
a specific part of the
so it's actually the inner part that spins the fan itself. So that actually makes noise because there's friction on it.
So it's an inner component.
Yes, exactly.
All right. So each one will have different bearings, and you can choose basically what performance you need.
Yeah, and we also tune this to be to go 0 RPM on item. If your computer, for example, if it's PWM and if it doesn't need that much airflow, it'll stop at 0 RPM.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what does 0 RPM mean?
So 0 RPM actually means that the fan won't move if your computer doesn't need it. Traditionally, our older fans, our idle is about 650, so it still moves. But right now, since PWM can go from 0 to all the way to 3000 RPM, depending on what fan you choose. Some might go to 1800 RPM for those case fans if you choose that. Some might, if you don't want it to be too noisy on your air cooler or liquid cooler, it goes up to 2300 RPM. And the highest version we have would be the 3000 RPM.
All right, that's wonderful. So based on how much cooling you need, you can work with these different ones. Okay.
Pretty much because some people they game, they overclock and they just want the best performance. They don't care about noise. But some people they want the best of both worlds. Like if it's there, I need it.
That's me right here. I need a best of both worlds.
If I'm working, I need to be quiet. I have, if you have a kid, you don't want to make the baby cry or anything.
Sure. I can imagine that would be an issue. Yeah.
So we're still testing, try to optimize to be trying to reach that 100% mark, but obviously, it takes time. So
perfection isn't easy, my friends.
Hopefully we get this out very soon, and I'm expecting this to launch around, I would say, October to November.
Okay.
Of this year, hopefully.
So close to the end of the year, right? In time for those holiday seasons, right?
Exactly.
Put it on your Christmas list.
Please.
Okay, so what's next? I'm excited to see more.
Our last product would be the LED tube. So this is more of an accessory. So not as much R&D put into this, but it's more of the ARGB touch. Everybody wants to move on to the ARGB.
Everybody wants that ARGB.
They have the lighting strips in their case. They have ARGB fans with the rings. So this one is actually for the liquid cooler, the tube itself. So obviously the tube itself, you guys know it's black for, I would say, majority of all the brands, including Fuller Master. So if you want to, add an extra little bit of touch to that ARGB lighting you have, you could actually wrap it around. It's pretty easy. It's pretty much like a wraparound, and then you connect it to.
What material is it? Is it sort of pliable?
It's pliable. It's flexible, but it's pretty much a flexible material with the ARGB LEDs wrapped around
it. So you're gonna get full 360 ARGB.
Yeah, pretty much.
And will you see? Is it little dots? Like,
no,
is it gonna?
It's gonna be a full like a strip. So you could change the lighting from the software either with our controller, or if you have a ARGB motherboard, you could connect it to all your ARGB and sync it up with it.
That's different than anything I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean we're trying to change it up. Add different touches here and there. Try to be competitive as well.
Yeah, my goodness. So one quick question that we have from the audience is more on the general side of thermals, and we can, talk a little bit more about the LED tube sleeve if you'd like. If there's anything else to touch on, but we have a question about if Cooler Master is ever going to be in the arena of phone coolers, because they're saying their phone runs a little hot.
Obviously, we would. I actually consider that myself to my team, but it really depends on how the market takes it. There's like phones is one thing because there's so many different brands. You have the
Hmm.
iPhone, you have Google phones, which all in different shapes, things like that. And the heating area is kind of different for different phones. So we have to see like if we can have a universal type if we're developing towards a specific phone.
All right. So
And
there's a lot of things to consider
yeah,
is basically the gist of
yeah,
that. Yeah, I can
exactly.
imagine. But as we've been talking about all today, as research and development continues, as things get more efficient, there's a limitless possibilities, I
Exactly.
imagine. That's
Exactly.
wonderful. So is there anything else you'd like to touch on in
Um,
regards to the thermal development?
that's actually pretty much it for this year. Stay tuned for next year. We'll obviously have more things being launched, but
Wow,
as of
even
now,
more?
yeah.
There's more coming? Oh my goodness.
And I'll say that's about it for the thermal BU, and stay tuned for the next business unit.
Yes, we're going to do a quick break and we'll come back for power supplies. Well, hello there, everyone, and welcome back to the Cooler Master Summer Summit 2021. We've talked about cases, we've talked about cooling, and now we're going to talk about power. One of the most important things about a PC build, am I right?
Yeah, definitely, 100%. Yeah, without power supply, definitely those RGB is not going to work.
That's right, and really, that's all we're here to talk about today is the ARGB, is the rainbows, right?
The rainbows, yeah.
Yes, that's the most important thing. So talk about how those things get powered.
Basically, how power supply works is that it takes the power from, of course, the outlet, and then it draws the voltage back to the component starting from the motherboard, and then spread it. Depends on to different components. Depends on what their requirement is. So
Okay.
that's how they usually generate.
So everything goes through the power supply unit. PCs can have lots of different components. You can customize however you like, but it has to have a power supply. Yes. So what is the first thing we're going to be talking about today?
So yeah, definitely. So the first thing we're going to talk about is our the XG Platinum, which is I mean, if you look at it, we announced it back in 2018.
2018.
Yeah, we started this project in 2018. We announced it during Computex, and during that time where there's definitely a lot of changes, and we did a lot of adjustments. So
yeah, and since that was before 2020, that was approximately what, 10 years ago?
Yeah,
I'm speaking hypothetically. It feels like forever.
It was
forever ago. So back to 2018, streaming was really, really right at the cusp of becoming mainstream back in 2018.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we did a lot of adjustments. To a lot of you, if you notice it, we changed it from 80 plus gold to 80 plus platinum.
Okay.
So we kind of see that as a trend, and then the efficiency is kind of important. Leaning towards the gamers out there right now, whether you're building for stream engines or you're doing maybe like workstation and so forth. Definitely you wanted to have a better quality of the power supply. So of course that jumps to 80 plus platinum.
I see.
So
you say platinum is a higher quality.
Yeah, definitely.
Than gold.
Definitely. Yeah, of course.
Now, what are the differences between them, and why would someone want one or the other?
So let me start with the whole 80 plus rating. So we started with when you're looking at power supply, definitely you're looking at efficiency. So efficiency, when the efficiency rating is above, or actually below 80%, and that's actually with 80 plus certifications. And then once you over that, it will start with if you're I would say like our efficiency rate is about 82%. Then the certification will be 80 plus white. That was really the really basic ones. And then started with, if you move on to 85%, then you will have the 80 plus bronze, and it goes up to. So yeah, so
all right.
And then next one will be the gold, platinum, and all the way to platinum and titanium. Titanium
is the tippity top, and platinum is right.
And then of course, like if you want to go higher level, definitely the components will be a lot more premium, and definitely the cost will increase.
So would you say platinum is probably the closest comparative to prosumer?
I would say yes, but it really, for power supply, it really depends on what you're looking for. So if you wanted to have a budget build, then definitely will recommend maybe bronze or gold. And if you do have the budget, and then definitely, as I always recommended, you uh, just sort of like buying a sort of protection, like insurance, like the higher efficiency that kind of protects your overall computers. And of course, our Cooler Master power supply, starting from 80 plus gold all the way to titanium, our warranties at least 10 years.
Oh, okay, so it's a little bit future-proofing.
Yeah, of course. Definitely.
Okay, so if you upgraded another component of your PC, you would want to make sure you have more power supply than you need, not less.
Exactly.
Oh, good note. Good to know. Okay.
Yeah.
So this one was originally started at 80 plus gold, and then as time has gone on, you said, let's go platinum.
Yeah, let's go ahead and go platinum. And then we did a little changes. So typically when we build up power supplies, and one of the things we discovered is that we used to sell a 24-pin adapter, which connects it to the motherboard. And then so what we add a little bit of a feature is that we add capacitor inside. And then what we're trying to do there was to make sure that, because the two things that the capacitor will do is that, first of all, it gets rid of the ripple noise, and the second is it kind of filter out the audio. So let's just say, I don't know if you've ever had this issue, but when you looking at you do some recording, and then you're watching some videos, and then you turn your volume like like maximum, and you'll see like a little bit of the static noise in the back.
Mhm.
Usually that's normal, but then when you add a capacitor that goes into the motherboard, of course, like it outputs to all the components. Definitely will affect the audio, and then so basically it'll get rid of all those static noise.
Oh,
And then so
okay.
so we had this and then definitely we've been selling that 24 pin adapter for quite a while, and then we do have a lot of positive feedback from the past, and then definitely so that's something that we're thinking about. Maybe we should add it into this specific unit.
So
So
this
that's
is
why.
what you're saying. Basically, you're saying this is a streamer's dream.
Oh yeah, it's definitely have that feature to benefit the overall. I wouldn't say just for streamers, but overall gamers
And
out there.
specifically, if you are a voice actor working from home and you need a setup that is going to be silent,
Yeah.
this is going to be a dream for you.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then one of the things that so as you based off the feature that we have right now, we also added a new feature what we call STC mode. So this is what we call a smart thermal control mode. So the unit actually the fan doesn't spin until 50% low. So let's just say
Okay.
because it has the unit behind the back, it has a button there. So once you click it, you turn it on, the fan will stop spinning. So
This
what
is a physical button.
it's a physical button.
Okay.
And then so when you turn it on, basically, even at 50% low, let's just say you're not doing anything, you're just watching YouTube, playing videos, so forth. The fan doesn't kick in, so definitely it doesn't generate a lot of noise. So
Great.
the unit itself is really silent. It's quiet.
And that's unusual. A lot of other power supply.
We have a few units of products in the past. We do have this sort of feature, but this is talking about 50%, and then so even we're playing games, sometimes your games does not even generate that much of a power consumption.
Right.
So the fan, unless you're doing intense, maybe like video editing, you're doing rendering, and then so it takes a lot of power from the graphics card, and then so the power supply unit may start to kick in. But once it kick in, it's not going to be from 0 to 100. It's going to slowly generate. So you most of the time you won't even notice the fan is, and then that also including if your cases have a lot of fans out there, so you're definitely not going to notice the fan of the power supply is kicking in. So,
That's great.
yeah.
Okay. So
So-
again, comes back to being quiet, comes back to being efficient.
Yeah,
Perfect.
definitely.
That's awesome.
And then if we have a lot of viewers, they wanted to jump into, what if I want RGB, and then that's when we jump into the XG Plus Platinum.
Oh.
And I have to say, this is our very first addressable RGB power supply. And then so basically the platform is exactly the same as the XG Platinum,
Okay.
but there are some differences. First of all, as you can see, it's addressable RGBs on fans, but also we have a side panel. That side panel is also addressable RGB. And first of all, it's not just just colors. And then the side panel actually it's a digital platform that shows different information. So let's just say that if you wanted to really look into it, the readout actually shows 3 different modes. It shows the fan speed, it shows the unit temperature, and also it shows the power consumptions.
I love that.
Yeah,
so
so-
it's a little symbol right here, and
Yeah.
you can see what it's showing you right now. So
Yeah,
right now
exactly.
it's temperature,
Right.
and then when it switches over, it's going to be power consumption.
Exactly. Yes.
That's amazing.
And then so this is fully connected to our in-house software, which is the Master Plus. So when you get into the Master Plus, you can change different modes, you can change different colors, you can change it to, let's just say I just wanted to show temperature. Let's just say you can definitely lock into that, and it'll just
Wow.
keep showing that.
That's
and then
great.
and then one of the other thing is that this unit you can also look at the I would say like details of the information. So let's just say like the voltage readouts and everything. A lot of the power side typically, if you want to look at this type of information, you have to either go into the BIOS or you have to download some sort of like a third-party software. Usually that's I wouldn't say inaccurate. It's actually accurate, but it has some sort of like a delay, like 3 to 5 seconds delay. So, but this this information is directly from the unit itself, so it's really just real time. It's live. So comparing to the XG, the Platinum, it's actually the difference is, first of all, it's RGB. It has a side panel, but the other thing is that this is fully controlled by the software. So XG Platinum is actually just the button in the back, the manual on and off. So it depends on what you're looking for. But XG is sort of like strictly for gamers, and then they want cool effects, they want RGBs and stuff. So
Yes, gamers or anybody who just likes beautiful colors. So this data What is the reason why you would want to be able to monitor what your power supply is doing?
Oh, that's a good question. When we think about it, what can we do? What can we be innovative in terms of like for power supply? Because let's be honest, power supply is kind of boring. It's a black box. Of course it's definitely important, but it generates power.
It's very valuable.
Yeah.
It's
But,
the MVP of PC.
oh yeah, of course. I hope my boss is so yeah, it's definitely important. But then we're just kind of thinking about like what are the important information what user is they wanted to know. So and then we're looking at like normal like user behavior. What are they looking at in terms of the power supply? And then if they want to do overclocks, what are the information they need to know? And then so personally myself, I do a lot of overclocking. So
see.
it's kind of pain to go jumping back and forth. And then sometimes I want to see my power supply, like the temperature, everything. I know my fan is kicking like crazy, but I want to know like,
Right.
exactly temperature wise. So
Make
that's
sure
why.
nothing's melting.
Oh yeah,
It's
definitely.
kind of important.
Well, and then also it's XG, it's 80 plus platinum, so you can imagine like the quality is a lot better
Yes.
to sustain that extreme environment. I
Exactly.
would say so. Yeah. So that's why we added this side panel. This is also launched back in 2018, and we just we did a lot of changes. So in the first model is actually it's not actually numbers. It's just bars. So as bars kind of go up and down, but when you look at it, you don't really tell. You can't really tell like
refinement.
yeah. So and then
Clocking, which
Definitely.
does carry a few risks. That it's not very beginner friendly. Like I don't overclock my system because I wouldn't know what to do if something went wrong, and I wouldn't want to deal with it if something went wrong.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I just how it is out of the box. That's
Yeah.
how I do it. So a lot of people really like to overclock.
Right. And then so that's why we did a lot of adjustments, and we have people coming in here and ask us like, hey, like I can see my power supply is maxed out. Then when they look at the demo that we presented back in 2018, and then they're like, yeah, I know my power supply, the fan is maxed out, but I want to know exactly what's the RPM. So
You know, this theme keeps coming up that Cooler Master really takes in feedback from the Cooler Master community, from people who actually use your products. And then the beautiful thing is you actually incorporate that feedback. That keeps coming up in every single product line we're talking about.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then a lot of products that later on you can see, it's definitely a lot of them is user driven. So it's driven by our community, and then we see a lot of feedbacks and everything. So we decided to give back to the community and make sure that hey, we have something that is really the people that they're looking for. So and then that's definitely something that's valuable for us.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking of feedback and questions, if you have any, you can drop them in the chat. We are taking a look at them, and we will do our best to answer them if possible. So feel free to ask away, because clearly it actually gets used. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Not a lot of companies actually have that community feel. I love that about Cooler
Appreciate
Master.
it. And then that's speaking about having feedbacks and stuff. So that's why we came up with our the VSFX Platinum. And then so a lot of our Cooler Master fans, I mean, in general, we launched our VSFX Gold, which is our first SFX power supply. And then before that, we kind of focused mainly on the ATX power supply, but then we kind of see the market and of course the community to come back and say, hey, we wanted to have a smaller power supply if that's something that you guys are be able to make. And definitely last year we came up with a VSFX Gold, and the wattage back then it was just it was on 550 all the way to 850, and then now we look at the current like NVIDIA, we look at graphics card and looking at CPUs, the more and more the components are the power wattage requirements getting more and more higher, and so that's why when we think about it, you know what, why not why limit ourselves? So the VSFX Platinum is actually when it's available, it's going to be 1100 watts and also 1500 watts.
So more power, but it
yes.
is smaller than other power supplies.
Yes, definitely. So if you're looking at the current market right now, the SFX, if you're talking about this product specifically, 1100 watts, you don't see it out there because it's really small. It's a small form factor power supply.
That's great.
And it basically has everything. The power is enough for everything that you're trying to build within your computer. It's definitely enough for pretty much everything. Everything is high end, and then your one power supply, you're good to go.
So you said when this comes out, when do you think this might be ready?
Right now, we're targeting spring next year.
Okay.
So it's gonna be soon. One thing to add is that the 1100 watts small form factor,
Mm-hmm.
80 plus platinum. The 1300 watt, however, we did the same thing. We did the same thing. We're trying to, trying to make it small. At least everything is packed. But then that's when we come into realizing, you know what, that's actually generate a lot of heat because we have to swap out a lot of components to make sure that the wattage goes to 1300. And then so that also generates another question. How are we supposed to have this unit not full blast all the time, but enough power supply? The wattage.
Sure.
So when we look at it, okay, you know what? This is where we're gonna have to jump into SFX large. So the size will be a little bit bigger, but still fits into. Also, one thing I want to add is that the SFX power supply comes with a free bracket from SFX to ATX. So let's just say you have a full tower case, 4 tower cases, and that is suitable for for ATX power supply, and then you want to add this power supply in there. It has a bracket, so it's free.
Great.
It comes for free, so it's not additional. We're not charging anything.
That's
So it comes with
awesome.
a package, so you can just mount it on there. So
That's great.
Yeah.
That's a great deal. Okay, so then what's the highest wattage you have planned for this?
right now it's 1300.
It's the 1300,
Yes.
but that will be a little bit larger than
Yes,
the
that's
1100.
yes, correct.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. So one of the questions that I have, as someone who's only built 2 custom builds myself,
Mhm.
how do you know exactly how much wattage you need?
Oh, okay. That's a good question. If you really want to, there's definitely a lot of websites out there. Cooler Master, we have our own website. It's coolermaster.com/power supply calculator.
Oh,
Try to-
okay.
yeah. So if you want, just go to that website and then input all your components, and it'll show how much wattage you need.
That's awesome. So you can go to Cooler Master's website to coolermaster.com/power supply calculator, and it'll tell you what wattage is going to work for you.
Yep.
And as we've already discussed, you don't want to have less wattage than you need. You want to have more.
Always. That's how I do always. Just
Okay.
it's one of the insurance. You don't have
That's great.
to come back and forth.
Cool. So that's going to be really helpful to anybody who's looking to build their own system.
Yeah, definitely. And then the next one will be the HGold. The HGold, visually it's not much, but of course, inside we did a little bit of adjustment.
I like the design of it.
Oh, really?
The little geometric
appreciate it.
design, personally.
That's another feedback.
It's not ARGB, but it's a geometric design, and that's something I like.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cool thing about HGold is that it's digital platforms. So that means that it's similar to the XG Plus Platinum. It's connected directly to the motherboard. So definitely you can use the in-house software Master Plus. You can look at the information, including the voltage. You can change the fan curve. So a lot of the parts are maybe you from 0 to maybe like 25. You want the RPM to go below 500, and then when you're playing games, you look at it and say, maybe I wanted to bump the fan speed a little bit. Then you can purely adjust the fan curve so that it really fits your needs.
So this is really a control freak stream.
Oh, yeah.
Because they can change and adjust exactly
Yes.
how they want it.
Yes.
That's really awesome.
And then this power supply unit also have the STC mode. So that's same with the XG Platinum. So you can the fan doesn't kick in until 50%
50% low. Okay.
But if you wanted to do it on your own, you wanted to just create your own profile on power supply, you can just adjust the fan curve based on your.
I know a lot of people who would love messing around with all those settings.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did that too.
I bet you could go down the rabbit hole of all those settings.
You can play around with it for at least a day. You can see how it behaves.
Oh, that sounds super fun.
Yeah, it was fun at certain point. But this is actually our first same with the XG Plus Platinum as our very first like digital platform. So we don't want it to go too overboard, so that's why we started with 80 plus gold. Mainly it's we're trying to make sure the price is first of all price is friendly, but definitely it's going to be a learning curve because I'm pretty sure there's it's going to take a while for users to fully understand, fully they're 100% capable of doing all this type of settings changes. So, yeah.
So this is more for someone who's really, really heavy on the technical side of things.
Oh, yeah.
And who really wants to be able to maximize their efficiency in the best way that they see.
Definitely.
Awesome. Okay. So do you see a future where that gets a 80 platinum rating?
Right now we're looking at this winter. So I would say somewhere maybe around November to December time
For the
frame.
HGold to release.
For the HGold, yes.
Okay, do you see a future for a platinum one day?
Yes, because we
Okay.
already have that in schedule.
you do?
Yeah,
Okay,
we
great.
do. But just we're still doing some adjustments. We just want to make sure that at least the product is right, and I definitely want to see some feedbacks, of course,
Of course.
from the HGold community
Yes.
and see how they react, and then we can do adjustments according to their.
That's
needs.
awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. That sounds great. All right, what is after the HGold? Could there be
And-
more?
Oh yeah, the wattage is more definitely.
Okay.
Before that, you saw me introduce the VSFX Platinum.
Mhm.
The maximum is 1300. This is 1600 and 2000. This is actually our first power supply that carries so much wattage.
Wow.
Yeah, when we started this project, I was really excited, and it's just amazing as you see. Like I said, the power supply is really it's about. You have to go higher.
Okay.
Go higher isn't like
Okay.
you're buying the sort of insurance.
Go big or go home.
Yeah, go big or go home.
Right.
Because if you really look at it, let's just say hypothetically, let's say you're building a computer. The most annoying part. I shouldn't say that because I built. The most important annoying part is the cable management. And you have to
Yes.
swap out everything, especially on the power supply. You did so much work to do cable management.
Oh yeah.
You got everything set up, and then if you upgraded a graphic card, and then you go, oh my god, my power supply might not have, and then so I have to swap out all the cables, do all this, especially on
You
24
gotta
pin.
re-zip tie. You gotta rip
Yeah.
out all the zip
Oh, yeah.
ties. Oh my gosh.
It takes a lot of time, and especially on the UPS connector, which hiding all the way in the corner. You have to stick your hands in there. Sometimes you get cut. All that kind of stuff. You get frustrated. So
I'm more on the frustrated side of things.
Yeah.
I have tiny hands to put things where they need
I
to
don't,
go,
I don't,
but
I
the frustration is real
Yeah.
for this one.
yeah. So that's why if you want to go higher, you go higher. If you have the budget.
So if you have the budget, put in a power supply that future-proofs you so that you never have to change it.
Yeah, and then like I said, the warranty is 10 years.
That's great.
Yeah,
That's
and
really
so that's why we came up with the 600 and 2000. Of course, the wattage, with this much wattage, nowadays, a lot of people definitely would say, it will definitely not need, we don't need that much power, of
Okay.
course. But yeah, like I said, if you don't have the budget, which is okay, but if you do, I would definitely highly recommend.
But I'm
So-
guessing that there are some budgets and some needs and some builds that are coming at least close to that 1600 mark in need,
Mhm.
right? So
Yeah.
so what kind of person would need something like that?
So this is something where a lot of people nowadays we see that because the pandemic, a lot of people work from home,
Yes.
and then they started to realize maybe I want to build a server,
Mm.
and then so if you want to build a workstation, which we have a lot of customers, and then they want something this big, and then so we're looking at it and it goes like maybe we should come up with something like that, and then so we decided to why not just for 1600 and 2000, and this is definitely is suitable for those with workstation wise or even personal PCs or gaming PCs like intense environment. So
I see.
one of the feature in that power supply is that it has a 100% Japanese capacitor.
Mm.
So if you look at capacitors, definitely where there's a lot of manufacturer out there. Japanese capacitor is always like the premium
Okay.
premium category.
So very high efficiency then?
Very high efficiency. The quality is
Good
really
quality.
good. Of course, there's definitely a lot of capacities out there has good quality, but then Japanese capacitor is always the first choice if you want to go premium. So that's why every single capacitor inside this unit is all made out of Japanese. It's Japanese.
So really
Yeah.
no quality is sacrificed with this. The lion is the king of beasts.
Mhm.
This is the king of power supplies.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this power supply is definitely you'll be able to connect more than 4 graphics card or more than 10 hard drive.
Barely got one graphics card.
Yeah, no, I mean nowadays the NVIDIA or AMD graphics card, they don't do a lot of updates anymore, SLI or Crossfire
Mm.
configurations, but workstation you don't have that limitation.
Right.
So and then we do see the trend. Definitely, it's going to be a niche market, but it's definitely something that a lot of people want that. So
Yeah, for the people who need it, this is
yeah,
exactly
so
what they need.
this is another
Sure.
example of feedback from the community.
Yeah, that's great. So when is this going to be available?
So this will be available also this winter.
Great.
So it will be
It's going to be a good holiday season.
Oh yeah.
I'm so excited to get all of these things in my stock.
Try to save some money in your wallet.
I maybe don't need the king of power supplies,
Right.
but I can't stop looking at how gorgeous.
Okay. This is we're actually really proud. This is actually our first addressable RGB, but definitely we want to see like the feedback of see how people would, because we do have some feedback in terms of like, is there any ways that we just want the side panels but we want to turn off the RGB fans, stuff like that. But of course, it's connected to the software. You can change it if you want. If you doesn't want the fans to have the RGB effect, definitely you can turn it off.
I definitely want the RGB effect though. Yeah, that'll fit in a stocking, right?
Oh yeah.
Hanging over my fireplace. Christmas?
I'm not sure about that.
You don't want to hang that from a tiny hook on the mantle? Is it too precious for that? Probably too precious.
If you want to hang on the wall, I would say this is a little bit too expensive. I would say. Yeah.
All right. Good to know. All right. So then carefully packaged under the tree instead then. That is wonderful. This was super. I know you said that maybe power supply isn't the most exciting part of it, but honestly, this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, like I said, I shouldn't say that. My boss is probably going to.
No. And I have to say thank you for making my experience of power supply unit so much brighter and happier, because one time when I was building my PC, and I actually have a video of this, I was opening up the power supply and I look up and there's a big old spider on the ceiling.
Yeah.
So now whenever I think of power supply units, I think of big old spiders. This has gone one step further in cleansing my memories.
Sounds good.
So I appreciate that very much.
No problem. I'm having a good time.
Oh, good. All right. And there's more good times to be had. We're going to take a short break to switch out to our next product. You are going to love it. You don't want to miss it. We will be right back. everyone, to the Cooler Master Summer Summit 2021. And once again, as we've come back from our break, we've switched out our guest. Allow me to introduce KP, our Peripherals Communications Manager.
Yep.
We're going to be talking about all of the things that gamers and streamers and PC users touch every day.
Yeah, touch every day.
This is all the stuff that's getting touch time. This is mouse, this is keyboards, this is all sorts of fun things like that, right?
Yeah, and I think that's actually kind of like a really good point, because I think when we look at everything else, we're talking about, cases, cooling,
Yes.
power, they can be kind of cool. You put them in the system, and
And then you look at them and they're gorgeous.
you
but
appreciate it from afar,
It's
right?
a very tactile experience
Yeah.
for the most part.
And so it's really when you use a keyboard, when you use a mouse, it's really personable. You need to get your hands on it. You need to be comfortable with it. And most of the time, it's very subjective. Different mice shapes that kind of come into play.
Yes.
And so, yeah.
Different weights, different preferences. I mean, how many times have you gotten a new keyboard and for a second you're like, I don't know if I can do this. It's not like my old keyboard.
Yeah.
It's just like a pillow. You can't sleep on a hotel pillow. You got to have your pillow. It's different.
I think especially, at least for me, when it comes to mice, I'm lucky I work at Cooler Master, right? So I get to kind of test out all of our mice. And so
That is very,
yeah.
that's one of the coolest things in the world.
Yeah, so I've been using our new mice that we're about to share with you in a second for the past 2 weeks. And and it's like I moved from the MM7 711. I was using that one. And it's like you get used to that, and then all of a sudden it's like a new one, and you're like, okay.
And that's the one I'm using, by the way. The MM711.
It's a great mouse, right?
Matte black.
Yes.
I love
That's my
it.
favorite.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. And I was using a white mouse before that. Now I'm using a black mouse, and you can't see the hands much, which is pro tip for anybody out there. Yeah, if you want to use a mouse for a really long time, get a darker color.
Yeah.
The white ones, they just show a little wear real quickly.
For sure. All right, so I guess we can dive right into it.
Please, let's do it.
Yeah. I guess I'll talk a little bit. For peripherals, Cooler Master. A lot of times people think Cooler Master, they might not think of peripherals. Our name is Cooler Master, so sometimes you might end up thinking cases. We've been doing cases for a long time.
The fans. I could never dream of buying a fan for my PC other than a cooler.
Yeah, because we're super cool.
No one else makes them, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's only Cooler Master makes fans.
I really like this. That's what I like.
Why am I here, right?
But yeah, I think we've been doing peripherals for probably around 10 years already, and we've gotten to a point where we've really learned, we've really grown, and we kind of now our philosophy and our product, when we're kind of making stuff, we want to be kind of the big fish in a little pond.
Okay.
And so what does that necessarily mean is there's so many different niche markets out there. For example, people that enthusiasts that like really small boards, or like what we mentioned, really super lightweight mice. And so we kind of want to find and target these demographics and end up being able to kind of support them and create some cool products that the people in those niche communities can really enjoy.
I love that. It's almost a little bit of like you're serving the underdog a little bit. Someone who looks around and doesn't find something that really suits their needs or their preferences. Yeah. You're coming out, you're taking their feedback, and you're saying, well, we're going to make something specifically for you.
Yeah.
I think that's beautiful.
And I think over the course of, today, listening to Wei and listening to a lot of people, that's kind of in our DNA, really community inspired and feedback that we get. This week we've been having focus groups and all, it's just something that we really do. COVID has made it difficult. We usually have focus groups in our office, 30 to 40 people every few months.
Really?
Yeah. We used to do that all the time, but COVID happened, and it's like, yeah. So it's like we're so used to talking to people and just getting so much feedback. That
what do? You just call off the street and you're like, hey, everybody, come on over here. We got water and snacks.
That's one way to do it. That's one way. But we usually end up targeting people like on Reddit. Or,
sure.
We'll put out some invites. We have like a whole database now that we've got people to sign up, and so we kind of shoot it out there to a couple thousand people and be like, hey, who's interested? First come, sign up. Yeah. So it's something that yeah, we really like doing. We really like working with the community on this type of stuff, and really, everything that I'm about to show you has really kind of come from the community. And so,
I love that. I'm
yeah.
very community focused as well. So
as a streamer,
that's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. All right, cool. I guess
show me what's first. I can't wait to see it.
this not just work.
There we go.
So yeah, first up is the CK721. Now, that's the keyboard that I do on the desk here.
Beautiful.
And that people have been using to change the slides. So
Perfect.
it's functional already today. It works.
Fabulous.
But I've been using this keyboard too for the past 2 weeks, and I am just absolutely in love. I really am, and it's just something that yes, I've made keyboards. I've used all of our keyboards before, and they're all great boards.
Yes.
But just something about this one, I am totally in love with it.
Now, at first glance, it looks a little bit smaller.
Definitely
than other
smaller.
keyboards.
Yep. And so that's something that of course, we have options that are long. Like if you need a keypad or the function keys. But as like a really nice, compact, small work and play keyboard,
yes.
Yeah, this is it. This is something that I've been using nonstop, and we'll get into the features in, I guess, a little bit. I don't want to jump the gun. I just want to start talking about them immediately. But
it's exciting.
But yeah, but for sure, there's just has so much functionality that I'm able to use it, whether I am gaming or actually at my work PC. I end up having kind of this dual PC setup at my house now because of COVID, right? So I was able to take over my kind of like a little section of my living room, and so I have my little PC gaming and I have my laptop, and I'm able to kind of just use this back and forth.
Really?
Yeah. So so basically that's one of the main features, which would be the hybrid wireless.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So I think
normally the great debate is
Yeah.
wired versus wireless. Are you
Yes.
saying you don't have to have that debate with this?
I do not have this debate. No, that's not a debate. Yeah, that's
amazing.
that's something. Yeah, technology has gotten so good to the point now where there really isn't much of a difference if it's if it's wireless or wired.
Okay.
But if you tell some hardcore gamer that, they will fight you to the death, because it's super important. And I get
still a big difference right now between wired internet or wireless internet.
Yeah, no,
so there is a difference between that.
Yeah.
But technology has improved, I'm guessing, so much
for sure
more for this.
Yeah. And so it's something where so for me on my gaming PC, yeah, for sure, I use wired. I'll plug it in and I'll use it wired because why not? I have the cable there, so okay. But when I'm jumping to my laptop, I'll just press a button. I just swap over to Bluetooth.
You just unplug it and just carry it.
Unplug it. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I just go flip, and then there's a little Bluetooth button on the side, flip, and then it's connected.
Really?
Yeah.
And it's that just seamless?
Seamless. Really super
So you
seamless.
have it connected to 2 separate devices. How many devices can it be connected to?
3. 3 with Bluetooth, so you can have it wired. So actually,
I'm amazed.
Actually, I sometimes do it with my phone too.
Really?
Yeah, because we have some apps.
You're someone with a keyboard.
Yeah, I know. Technology, right? It's the future.
The future is cool.
The future's here. I know.
Lure Master. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. I'm sorry. That was the only one. I won't do it again.
But yeah, so I think with the phone, yeah, because sometimes, if it's, especially I'll have a stand, right? And so I'll be working and I have it sitting there and it's like, okay, do I pick it up? Do I actually answer my boss and have to
But you don't have to.
Or if I do, I just switch it.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's awesome. So what else? That can't be it, right?
There's just so much. I could literally talk 3 hours about this keyboard.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna.
I don't know if we will talk 3 hours.
But
no, I can go over some of the main features that people would really like. So of course, it is mechanical. That's one of the things I know. Our video guy Chan has been kind of showing us as we've been talking. He's been showing this bad boy on camera. So it is mechanical. And it is, so it's 50 million clicks. It has all that. We've done all that testing. So it's super, it uses TTC switches, super reliable. It's available in 3 different colors, which would be red, blue, and brown.
Now, because we haven't talked about that at all at the Summer Summit yet, tell me what's the difference.
Okay, yeah, that's a very good question. If someone is looking to get into mechanical keyboards, that might be a question that they might not know, right? Because
Right.
you're looking and all of a sudden you're like, red, blue, like, is it just the color?
Yes, because my
Yeah.
MK850 keyboard that I use that you sent me is cherry reds.
Yeah,
it
reds.
says on the box.
Yes.
And I was like, that's great. What does that mean?
So yeah, when we're talking about reds, and they're pretty much universal. There's some that end up using kind of different colors, but for the most part, when you see a red mechanical switch, so what that means is the switch itself, the key, if you will, if you're pushing it, it would be linear.
Okay.
So literally just like a button. There's nothing, just smooth.
Like the easy button.
Yeah, just
you click it and it's a button
That's it.
and great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, when we get to the other colors, it gets more interesting. So
Oh.
you end up getting brown, and brown, it has a tactile bump.
Okay.
Now, of course, it's all personal preference. My favorite is brown
Okay.
because you have this little bump that knows when the key is being actuated.
See.
So with red, you kind of don't know. Like, you're just pushing it down. You don't have to go all the way to the bottom. You don't have to bottom out. Like, there's somewhere in between, like 2 millimeters, where it ends up actuating. With brown, you know where that is.
I see.
Just a little bump. Yeah.
Okay. So would you say that's more about the knowledge that your button press is accurate, or would you say it's purely a tactile feedback preference?
I mean, it's like when you end up getting, like, as a gamer, right? Like, if you get to a point where you play a lot, you can use reds, and you can still kind of know where that sweet spot is. Just browns, I feel just super light. I feel like you can barely press the key and just kind of know where it is because you just have that little bump. So I just feel faster. And as of course, it's all a personal preference thing.
Sure.
And then blues would be clicky. So that's one if you want to annoy your significant other, or at work.
It's more clicky than
Yes.
reds.
Oh yeah,
Because my keyboard is very clicky.
That's kind of considered the silent one. That's kind of not the one that has a lot of sound.
I am stunned.
Yes.
My streaming viewers are going to be shocked and awed.
Yes. Yeah. Blue is definitely a click, a very audible click.
Okay.
You feel kind of the depress. Yeah, it's a whole new thing.
Okay.
So for sure, I mean, you're here in our office. We have a bunch of stuff. Before you go,
I'm gonna have to do some test runs.
Yeah, I'll end up. We can play with some switches. And yeah, you can end up kind of feeling that. Because it is definitely something, as I said, and it's so funny because I hear at Cooler Master, right? Like when we were back all in the office, and whatever, we like keyboards. So there was a point where we all had blues, and it's just like this. Yeah, it's just amazing.
Roar of
just
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
I can't tell if that would be enjoyable, like white noise, or if that would just become
white noise. Yeah,
way too much.
Yeah, I mean, give and take. There's some people that might.
All right,
like
a little bit of both. Got it. All right.
But
cool.
I mean, it's very satisfying. That's the thing. The click is very satisfying. So that's why it exists. 'Cause it's a thing. It's almost like a typewriter.
Interesting. So if you are out there watching right now and you haven't tried all three types, go try them.
Yeah, and let the chat know right now which one is your favorite.
Ooh, yeah, let's hear
Let's
that.
get some engagement, some audience
tell me,
interaction. Let us
chat.
know.
Yeah, I have my cat here right now.
You a red, blue, or a brown kind of guy or girl?
I wonder maybe if they're like me and maybe they didn't know it gets clickier.
It's possible.
Maybe they didn't know.
Yeah, I know. So definitely, that's something to look into. Definitely, you can watch the videos, hear some different sounds.
Sure.
Yeah.
Try it out. I recommend you try it out.
Yeah.
When conventions become a thing again, you'll have to stop by the Cooler Master booth and try a few different ones out.
Definitely.
When conventions become a thing again.
I know. Soon.
Okay,
Hopefully.
so what else is the latest and greatest about the CK721?
What's also really cool about this one, since we did say, it's more like the way I end up kind of seeing this keyboard is for still work and play, right? So, the mechanical is great for gaming, and then, you end up having, it's just so compact, it's durable, and you can use it, in a work scenario. So with that in mind, what we end up having is we actually have, you can switch between Mac and Windows.
Interesting. Okay.
Keyboard. So, like in terms of the layout. So, I mean, we have a little key. It's a little function key. You kind of press it. So let's say if I had my work laptop was a Mac, it would never happen. But let's just pretend. If I'm going from my PC and I go over, I would just flip it, and then all of a sudden I have the Mac layout.
And it's compatible with both.
Compatible with both.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
really neat.
So that's something that that we ended up kind of including that compatibility, whether you're working on a Mac and then you're gaming on a PC.
The more that you tell me about this, it seems like this was born for the work at home era.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like for anybody who doesn't have a lot of desk space because they didn't plan to work from home, it's a little bit more compact, so it has that. You can still have a little bit of space on your desk without the keyboard taking up the whole thing. With the ability to be wired or not, you can use it where you need to, when you need to. You can switch between different laptops, Mac or PC. So whatever your setup is, I mean, this is as hybrid in every sense as it potentially gets.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yep.
I love it.
I love it too. One other thing that is great about this one, and as we said when we first kind of started talking about the personalization of peripherals, and how you use it day in and day out, so it needs to be something that you want to kind of use. What's cool about this one is the top plate is aluminum, right?
Mhm.
And it's it's super durable, all that good stuff, but it's actually removable. And something
Interesting.
that we are looking into is offering different top plate colors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very
So
cool.
either in a way where you can swap it out yourself, you can buy a different color at a later time, or you can buy them together, put together. That's just a thing that we're looking to, and it's actually super easy to remove. A lot of times, in the past, keyboard, like you need a screwdriver or something, you need to
Mhm.
take it off.
Never taken apart a keyboard.
Yeah, right, because it sounds kind of scary. You're
It
saying,
does.
what's going on? But basically, yeah, with this one, you just remove a set amount. I believe it's like 10 keycaps from the right hand side, and there's literally like a button that you just
Wow.
push where you kind of put the dongle in. So you open that up, and you just go click, and it just pops off.
That sounds great. Now
Yeah.
that probably helps for cleaning it as well, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. That's something that some keyboards that will show in a while, kind of those floating
Mhm.
key caps to clean. But sometimes with this one, we have more of that slim kind of layout in order to clean it, to get really into all the little nooks and crannies.
I love a clean keyboard. I have to have a clean keyboard. If I see a little crumb in there, I just can't live with myself until it's gone.
Yes, and I think that's something that I'm kind of guilty of. I think a lot of people
Oh, no.
watching, if they're honest, be honest, you do not clean your keyboard as much as
Oh no!
Let's be
I don't want to
honest.
hear about
I'm not the only one.
La 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 la. I don't want to hear
But
about
at
it.
least with something like this, it makes it easier.
Right.
So when you do decide,
When you do every 10 years
Finally.
decide to clean your keys.
Yes.
Oh my god. Heathens, all of you.
I know.
Now, we haven't yet talked about one of the more unique features of this, which is this dial.
Yes. So this is like it's, I guess you'd call it like a three-way dial, because
Okay.
it goes left and right, and then you
Okay.
can push it down.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I don't know if that's called a three-way, but I think that's what we're calling it. And so it's programmable, of course, via software. We have some default programs. Keyboard comes with 4 profiles to begin with. So you can do stuff like volume control, mute. If you just kind of push it down the
Great.
button.
I love that.
Yeah, that makes it very convenient.
Yes.
Having brightness too for the RGBs, you can program to do that.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. I think even multimedia, like a skip, forward,
Oh,
go
okay.
back, pause. Yeah. So
Okay.
a lot of different options to customize that. Yeah.
That's great.
So that's definitely one. Let me see. I could probably go to the next slide.
Keyboard of my dreams.
Oh yeah. So this one also comes with a wrist rest too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's that comfy, cushy
Super
little.
comfy, cushy. Yes.
Yes.
Because if you're gaming for a long time or working,
Mm-hmm.
mostly gaming,
be honest here.
let's be honest. You want to have that kind of soft wrist rest.
So for those sessions where you're like, okay, I will just play until my next win, and then you lose 10 games in a row. For those sessions, that's what the wrist rest is for.
That's what those are.
That's exclusively what it's for, actually.
Yeah, that's actually why we made it. Yeah, if you look up on the sheet, that's what it says.
Yeah, absolutely. on it right
when
now.
you've lost 10 times in a row. But yeah, so definitely nice. And as we said, it's a 65% layout.
So it is a little bit smaller than the standard.
Yeah,
keyboard.
definitely
Alright.
smaller, but bigger
Great.
than like the 60%.
Okay.
5% bigger.
I love it.
Yeah, so it has a little extra keys. There's the 3-way customizable dial that you
Awesome.
just mentioned, a close-up
Great.
photo of that.
I love a dial.
Yeah, no, it is our first keyboard with a dial. To be
Yeah.
honest, yeah,
Hmm.
and it's something that it's like once you use it and you're like, okay, why should we not have it?
I have the keyboard that has the roller on the top.
Mm,
And
yeah,
I really like that for volume because I used to actually go into my toolbar, my taskbar, every time and change the volume manually with my
yeah,
mouse. And that's just, whew, it's a lot of work.
yeah,
Now, once you get used to a dial format,
yeah,
you never go back.
and that's kind of the key. Get used to it.
Yeah.
Because I still find myself doing that.
Yes.
Where I'm going into, and then I'm just like, why am I doing that?
No, you don't
I
need
can
to.
just turn it and yeah.
Yeah, make it easier. Absolutely.
The hybrid wireless tech. So as we mentioned, wired, Bluetooth, and also 2.4
Okay.
gigahertz. So it does come with a dongle. You can plug it in, go that way, or you can go with two.
Awesome. Good
Yeah,
to know.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're wondering, Bluetooth versus 2.4,
Sure. What's the difference between those?
Yeah,
So
like-
both are wireless.
both are wireless.
Right? So what's the difference?
I would say, well, 2.4 is a little bit. It would be faster. So if you were planning to do any gaming
Mm-hmm.
wirelessly, you would definitely want to use the dongle and go 2.4. If you're just using it,
Now, when you say dongle, it's a plug-in, I assume. A
Yeah,
little plug-in
actually,
adapter,
it's not-
connector.
yeah, it's not here because I have actually plugged into the PC. Yeah, it's basically the little adapter.
It's a little communicator
Yeah,
from one device to the other.
exactly.
Got it.
That
Okay.
you just end up putting in.
I use the word dongle all the time when I'm talking about my phone charger, so I understand.
Yeah,
But I just want to make sure for anybody who doesn't know that version of English.
yeah, or any people that might be non-native
Yes.
English speakers that are watching. Dongle, is that a word?
Is it actually like a real word, or did we all make it up?
It
Is
might
it
have.
like a collective fever dream, that word?
I think it was something that was all just made up, and then we're like, let's just go with it.
I like the word. It's a good word. Okay, so what's next? I have to see.
Yeah. So next up, well, actually, you know what? I do kind of want to go a little bit more about the keyboard because it's super nice.
It is a really nice keyboard.
Because it's just so much stuff. Yeah, Chan, if we can kind of zoom in on this, just to kind of, and if I can see, yeah. So you have the keyboard. It's since it's 65%, you lose out some of the normal keys, but they're actually all there. So they're just hidden with the function key. So
Interesting. Okay.
yeah. So for example, like if you did want the F keys, they're actually still there. You would just hold the function and then hit one,
Oh, okay.
two.
So you're really not missing anything.
You're not missing anything. It's just kind of, yeah, all that functionality is there. Chan, is this good? Me holding it like that. And of course, a lot of stuff that we call this on the fly system. So of course you can do all these settings via the software, right? The Master Plus. You can change, 16.7 million colors.
We keep bringing up the Master Plus software, but I don't know if we've ever actually talked about what it is, how much functionality it has,
Yeah.
why someone, it sounds like needs to have.
Yeah. Basically, with our Master Plus, it's kind of like a software suite. So with all of our products, they all end up tying into that one software suite, almost for like an ecosystem.
And this is
Setup.
available for free with
Available for free.
products.
Yep. And it recognizes, basically, you would just go to our website. You can download it as soon as you plug in any Cooler Master product. It just recognizes it, and then
It's pretty slick.
there you go. It
That's
works.
pretty slick.
Yeah. So it's definitely, and then you can end up having profiles set between you with multiple products.
Sure.
Yeah, all that good stuff.
Love that.
So of course, we're talking about 16.7 million colors. You need software.
That's too many
do that.
colors.
Too many colors, but
But
any
it's just the right amount of colors.
shade that you would want,
Yeah.
you can do that.
Yeah.
Obviously, but you can't do that physically on the board with your hands.
I'm
right?
partial to the effects because I think it has a
Effects
few
are fun.
different preset effects, and I like one that's a little bit more subtle. There are some really cool ones, like one that kind of ripples out in a wave from the key you just pressed,
Yeah.
but I like a little bit more of the snowflake design personally.
Okay. Yeah.
So I highly recommend you logging onto the Master Plus software and playing around with it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different ones. This is one that's like kind of like a little rain thing. I don't know if you can see it well on camera, Chan. Tilt it up a little bit more.
There it is. Look at that.
So let's see if I can do it like this.
Oh, look at
Yes.
that.
Lightning or something, maybe?
It almost looks like
Snow.
Tetris blocks.
Or Tetris blocks. I can go for that. This is just kind of a little
It's a
rainbow.
bit of a breed.
You
I like
have,
it.
you can change the speed at which it cycles, all kind of with kind of the direction buttons here. You can change which way it goes, slow it down, speed it up. So it goes all.
Slowing it down and speeding it up is also something you could use the dial for too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So if you want a little bit more energy on your workday, you want it to be fast, dial it up, and then when you want to relax at the end of the day, you dial it down.
Yeah.
I like it.
So this is something, it has macros, it has just a bunch of stuff. So as I said, I can go literally forever and show you all this stuff, but I guess we should probably.
We eventually have to
Yeah.
move on. We don't want to, but we have
I
to.
Because this is like my favorite. This is my little baby now.
It's really nice.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we can move on, and so that's definitely something to check out. In terms of availability, I'll say probably Q4 of this year, which would be
More winter fun.
yes, more winter fun. So
Yay!
maybe like October,
Good stuff.
November.
Wow, Cooler Master has a lot going on.
Yes, we do, especially in Q4. In
Yes,
winter.
yes, in winter, all of these holiday goodies.
Yes.
So
we're happy.
Cooler Master is Santa.
That's
Kind of seeming
what?
like that's the
That was the
what I'm
thing.
seeing.
That was an actual thing. We had a thing called CM Santa. And people would write in letters and draw and say what they want. That was an actual thing we did for like a few years. We should bring it back.
That's cute.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh,
I
you're
think-
the most community-focused company I've
Yes.
ever worked.
I think I still have some handmade, like drawn from the community. Yeah, that shows. I still have them in my desk. can
And
show you. They're
I
really cool.
know that your community focus is very strong because I'm a part of the Cooler Master Discord,
Yes.
which is extremely active. I mean, what do you do? Like 8 giveaways a day?
We do a lot of giveaways.
A lot of giveaways in the
Yes.
Cooler Master Discord. So
Yes.
if you're ever, looking for a new community to join in and find like-minded folk, the Cooler Master Discord is really great.
Yeah, a little shout out to Beardman. He is kind of the
Beardman.
community guy. So a lot of those giveaways.
A lot of great work in the
thank
in the
you, Beardman.
Discord. Yeah, it's
Yes.
a lot of fun in there.
Definitely.
Good people.
So I guess moving on, we'll talk about the MM731. This mouse, I think, is going to have a lot of hype.
Great.
It's the mouse that's been on the desk.
Yes.
And it is super light for having no holes. So pick it up. It's like air.
It's very lightweight.
Yeah, it is really lightweight.
It almost feels like a toy mouse because
It really
that's
does. No,
how
I
light
know.
it is.
And it's what's very.
There could possibly be things inside here.
But then at the same time, it's super light. But as if you can feel it, it's durable. It's
Yeah,
like
it's very
solid.
functional.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so it's something where it feels so lightweight, where it's like, okay, is this some sort of? But the internals are like the highest end internals that you can get, like the best sensor. You have optical switches. You have all these good, super packed high end, in this little very lightweight shell.
That's great. That's great. Yeah. One of the things that we've been talking about a lot today is how as technology goes on in time, it becomes more efficient. And you can
Yeah.
do more with less weight, less heat, less space.
No, definitely.
I love that.
Yeah. So this is something, and lightweight. It's not only. I mean, people might end up saying that it's like a fad. It's something that's kind of been happening, but it really is actually.
When you use your mouse as much as we do,
Exactly.
it can't. The heavier mouses are really hard.
I always used to use a heavier mouse, and then once because I work at Cool Mouse. Once I ended up kind of switching.
You work at Cooler
I
Master?
know it's a secret. It's a
What?
secret. I'm not just some. Yeah, I'm not. Just a
You're not
fan.
the peripherals communication manager?
I know. Sneaky.
Wow.
Snuck in here. Yeah.
Wow.
But definitely, it's something like for what do they call it? Repetitive wrist strain.
Right. It's what they're now calling what carpal tunnel used
Yeah,
to be called.
exactly.
Right. Yes.
And so that's something that it's very real. Like it's like a lot of professional gamers, they end up getting it because they play a lot, or people that just work all day. And so using a heavier mouse, it takes its toll.
It does.
Yeah, and so having
Yeah.
something like this, where not only being able to be faster and quicker in game
Mhm.
as you're playing, that's like just a benefit where it feels like an extension of your arm.
Yes.
You're actually still able to protect your wrist.
Yeah, I think everything's going to end up going the way of more lightweight.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And that's how phones have been too. We talked a little bit about those 80s cell phones that are big and
Right.
clunky. And every time phones get smaller, dads of the world go, I can't even hold it in my hand anymore. My fingers, and every time they just get smaller and smaller.
Yep.
So I don't know. I like the lightweight mouse trend.
I know, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. And with this mouse, exactly the same as the CK721 hybrid wireless.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I gotta get me one of these.
So they're
Hybrid
like
wireless.
twinsies. They're like they both have wired. So as I mentioned with my working place setup at home, the same thing I do with my mouse too. Not only my keyboard do I move over, but I do
The
it with
mouse too. And see, that's something really interesting for me to hear about because I'm a streamer and I have my gameplay green screen wall so that I can just play games with no background.
Yeah.
But then I also have a setup on the other side of my room where it's more of a vlog space with a couch.
Nope.
So I built my setup so that it could rotate all around. But when I do that, all the wires get crisscrossed. If I had a hybrid wireless setup, I would not have to worry about that.
Well, you know
at
what?
all.
I think we can give you a set.
What?
Yeah, why not?
I wasn't asking, but that's
Sure.
very generous of you to offer.
Yeah, no, we definitely. I'll definitely hook you up with it. And it's something that, yeah, as I said, it's something that I'm really in love with. And so I want to just share. I mean, we do Friday night streams, and so definitely that's something that we're gonna start doing some giveaways on. I want to get into people's hands.
Friday night streams, better click the follow button.
Yeah,
Come back on
because
Friday.
That's something that we've been doing for like a year now, really, because of COVID.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, all right, let's just do this because we can't go and we're all at home.
That's right.
And so it's something that we've been doing a lot of giveaways, and this is gonna end up being something that I want to give away a lot of.
It seems like it just affords a lot of flexibility.
It does.
It gives you options.
Yeah.
Because, some people have to have the great debate of wired and wireless. And for me, wired won. I don't have to have that debate anymore.
Exactly.
That's really, really special.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
When you're playing like a super competitive game and you're like, you know what, I don't want no excuses.
Exactly, yeah.
Flag. I was like,
Oh
so
no,
you
I
just go
swear I pressed the E button. I swear I did.
Then you can rewire it, and then you can't use that excuse.
Then I can only be mad at myself.
Yeah, you have to come up with another excuse. Yeah.
No. It will always be someone else's fault. That's the rule, right? It's always someone else's.
Exactly. Of course, with the MM731, RGB accents. Because why not? It looks cool, very subtle, a little logo.
I love this logo. I've already raved about it today once before, but it's so sleek.
Yes.
It's simple. It's sleek.
It really
It's
is.
beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, we used to have it. Well, like my shirt,
Where
all
the
of our
words
products had
are
it.
in there.
And I mean, that's cool. I like the words.
Yeah, it's nice.
But the halo that we call it internally, at least that hexagon halo, it's better.
Well, it's minimalist,
Yes.
and a lot of people really enjoy that sort of minimalist
Yeah.
design.
Yeah, exactly. And we get nothing but even from the media, from people when we kind of announced that, kind of we're like, that's the direction we're going. Everyone liked it. I don't think anyone was like, no, I want the words back in. No, everyone was like, okay, good idea.
With some logos, there's efforts to hide a logo, but with this, you want to show it off,
Yeah.
and I think that's always a good call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I think so too. I like it.
So I assume this is customizable.
Customizable, of course. Yeah,
Great.
via
So you can
software.
whatever color you want.
Whatever color you want. It
Great.
can also be functional. So, for example, the mouse on the bottom, you end up having a DPI button, and so you can end up having like different
See, that's
speeds.
great. So I won't accidentally change my DPI all the time.
Yes. I know. Well, you know what? I always ended up having to do because I would accidentally change it. I'd end up just disabling all the other.
There you go. That's the idea.
Right, and so, but there's sometimes when I would have wanted it, but
Mhm.
it's like I don't want to accidentally do it.
Sure.
So now you kind of.
Yeah, I really like that. That's functional for me. I know there are some people who really like it easily accessible on the top so that in game they can change it or adjust it. But for me, I like it on the bottom where I don't accidentally fix it. That's my preference.
And so with the DPI, it could be the RGBs. Really, what we were saying was could be functional, so you can let you know which DPI profile like you're on.
Really?
So at a glance, you can know like you can do purple for 400, and then do like red for 800, and so you can know
Wow.
the speed. Yeah.
So I no longer have to press the DPI button,
And then
move the
move around.
mouse around, and then
Yeah.
press the DPI button, move the mouse around, and see if it's right.
Exactly.
I
know
I
which
would
one
just
it's on.
know based on its
Yeah.
color.
Or you could
So
go with
functional.
like a rainbow
it.
and just be like, hey, I like the way the rainbow looks.
I love that.
Yeah. So
More
it's all
options.
up to
It's
you.
all about options.
Since we're on the camera and we're looking at the underside of the mouse, I'll mention the PTFE feet. So this is something that a lot of like stock mice will just come with, some normal, bad, not as smooth mouse feet. But we ended up deciding for, since the MM710 and the MM711, every mouse that we've released, we've just gone the extra mile and included the PTF higher quality. Usually it's aftermarket. People end up buying that, and like they have to do it themselves.
I see they add it themselves.
Yeah, but we decided, we'll just do it for you.
That's great.
Yeah, and we'll just have some really good high quality mouse skates.
Yeah, it feels
on
really
there.
smooth.
Yeah, very smooth.
That's great. So there's no, hold on between the mouse and the mouse pad. There's less friction.
One thing to say, because we get this all the time, so just like we end up having plastic on the feet to protect it in shipment and stuff. So people always end up saying like, it's so scratchy, it's all this stuff, and it's did you take off
the plastic film?
And people are like,
happens to the best of us,
yeah.
I must say.
Yes.
But yes.
It's
No, take off the plastic film.
even me working at Coolmaster, it's happened to me.
Of course.
Yeah, so it's like, like no shame. We're not shaming. We're not shaming. I'll be the first to admit I've done it where it's like, there's something wrong. Like, I don't understand.
Let's go.
And it's like, oh, the plastic.
Plastic film. Okay,
Yeah,
good note. Good note. So when Santa leaves one of these in your stockings, make sure to take off the plastic.
Exactly.
But I did mention Santa. Is this also coming out around the same time?
Absolutely not.
No. Then it's a good thing I asked.
Super early.
Really?
Yeah, so basically, I believe it's actually already selling in Asia Pacific. So if any of our friends, Asia Pacific, you can already kind of start looking for that. It's trickling into different countries in Asia Pacific in the month of July. I will just say this now. For North America, we're aiming to have a pre-order up on August, if I remember correctly, let me see, August 17th.
Exactly 1 month from today.
Yes.
How exciting.
It is 1 month from today.
Yes. How exciting.
Just a coincidence, or was it?
So make sure you snag your pre-order.
Yes.
If this is what you need. And I guarantee you I need it.
Yes. So keep an eye out for that. We'll, announce it on social media and stuff like that.
Great.
I
assume the Cooler Master Discord will be on top of that too?
Yes, of course. Beard Man.
Hop into that Discord
Yes.
and you'll get that announcement when it
Get
comes
all
out.
those good news. As soon as it happens. Okay, sweet. So I guess that's it for the MM731.
Great.
Once again, I would love to just keep talking about it because it's just super light. Feel it.
It's very lightweight.
But something I want to say, it's super light.
If I had
lightweight,
three
right?
of them, I could juggle.
You
I
could.
won't. I won't do that. But I could.
And they don't have wires.
But just put the image in your head. She could juggle them.
But the MM730, if you're asking, okay, what exactly one number different?
Yes. What's the difference?
What's the difference? The main thing would be it is not wireless.
Okay.
Yeah. So if it's not wireless, what does that mean? It means it's lighter.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
okay.
48 grams.
So it loses some of the components
Basically
that it needs
loses
to
the
become hybrid, but
battery.
you gain an even more lightweight profile.
Even lighter weight.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's
so
great.
so if that's something where you don't really, let's say you just really want the lightest, and you don't, it's just another, if you were like, hey, you're not like me, you don't have a work PC that you move back and forth from, then yeah, the MM730 is definitely an option to choose because it is even lighter.
That's wonderful. So your mouse is going to have all of the function that you need, but you're going to feel a lot less bogged down by the end of the day. After a full day of using your mouse, you're not going to feel as fatigued.
Yeah. And one thing too that's even though it is wired, it actually comes with the Ultraweave cable.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and now Ultraweave cable, that's something we designed in-house. And the best way I can describe it, I don't think I have one here. No, but the Ultraweave cable, because it's wireless, right? So we don't have
a wire here today
for the MM731. But it's it feels almost like a shoelace.
That's the perfect, that's
Right.
exactly how I was going to describe it.
Yeah.
Is this like a shoelace, which means you don't have a lot of that tension on the line as
Oh,
you
yeah.
do with some other cables.
Yeah, like a good test is you can literally kind of pick it up the cable like a few inches away from the mouse and just move it around.
Yes.
And the mouse doesn't move. Whereas if you try it with a lot of other mice that might be braided or just a plastic, the mouse is going to move when you move
Exactly.
the cable.
And it ends up being heavier weight as well. So
Yeah,
talking
that's
about
true.
the weight over a full day of use, over 24 hours of use for 7 days a week for your whole life, it's going to make a really big difference. I have the Ultra Reef cable and it's really nice.
Yeah, no, I definitely
It
like it.
feels like an upgrade. It feels like a luxury.
And really, it feels wireless. Like, that's the thing. It even feels like you don't get that cable snag. And so that's something that, if you're sniping, if you're playing a game, you every once in a while when you're using it, if you don't have like a mouse bungee or something, you kind of feel a little snag. And you're just like, it's getting caught on the table or something.
We've all had that moment.
Yeah.
And then we blame the mouse.
Yeah. But now you can't blame the mouse because you've been using the MM711.
Maybe we're not selling it. Maybe gamers need something to blame.
Yeah, I know.
There
right?
will always be something to blame gamers. Don't worry. Don't worry.
But yeah, so basically the MM730, you can just call it the little brother, I guess.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. That's great.
All right. So moving right on, we have the CK352.
Now this is beautiful.
Yes.
This is beauty.
This
This is grace.
Yeah. So this is no gimmicks, just game.
Mhm.
That would be the tagline of this one. I believe we have someone off stage right now that's kind of going to help us try to get that on the table
Ho,
right
ho,
now.
ho. A little demonstration we have in the works here.
Because this one is oh, thank you. It just appeared out of thin air.
From nowhere.
Yeah, look at that.
Mysterious hand
Yeah.
down below.
So yeah, this is the CK352. Once again, it comes with super reliable switches, something that you can see right away. I think we'll probably switch to another camera
I think we should. And I think seeing the two side by side is actually really helpful as well.
because you can actually
Because you can see the size difference.
size difference too. That's a good idea. Is it on camera? Yeah, look at that. Wow.
So here we have the CK721, and here we have the CK352.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can see the size difference. This would be full size.
Full size.
Full size.
Definitely
keyboard.
full size. So you have the numpad on the right hand side if you
Mhm.
needed to do any number crunching.
I love numpads. I'm
Okay.
a spreadsheet lover, so I love to be able to have that separate function.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely if that's something that you use, that you end up as I said, there's different there's a keyboard for everyone.
Exactly.
And so if this is something that we hit those niche markets, if you're looking for like the 65% kind of a smaller one, we have that. If you're looking, if you want something that's more mainstream, a little bit bigger, then the CK352 is definitely a great choice.
Yes.
At first glance, as you can see, it ends up having these dual tone
And I think
keycaps.
it's really a nice touch. It's variation. So it's a little bit different. It's not your standard all black keys,
Yeah,
but it's also subtle.
subtle.
It's not too attention
Yeah.
grabbing, which I
That's
really,
exactly what I was going to say.
yes.
Reading my mind.
Yep, we keep
Get
doing that.
out of my head.
First shoelaces and now subtleties.
Yeah.
My goodness.
But definitely because we still want this to be like if you did use this at work, it's not some crazy funky different colors that you might not be
Yes.
professional. It's professional if you work at Cooler Master. We can have whatever we
Oh,
want.
sure.
But if you're in a place where it's not professional, then gray and black still kind of work.
And I
It's
think
subtle
one of the
tones.
other subtleties that I just really admire about this that I haven't seen on a lot of other keyboards is this side panel RGB
Yes.
here.
Yes.
The side panel makes it so that as you're standing over it, as you're sitting over it, it's not overtly visible. But from the side, as you're walking into your office, you can kind of see that
Yeah.
in a subtle way. And I think that's kind of the word of the day for this keyboard.
That looks
It does look
gorgeous.
really good, doesn't it?
because and it's funny that you say that because for me sitting here, even holding it like this, I can't even really see it.
Exactly.
But yeah, as if you were coming,
We might be having some technical
Technical
difficulties,
difficulties.
but that's all part of doing it live. So stick with us for just a moment. I do believe that will be fixed momentarily. I think we're good if we switch to the other camera.
I guess we're good already.
Seems like
Switch
we're good.
camera, okay.
Thanks, folks.
Yeah. So yeah, but as you said, having it from the side when you come in, I mean, seeing that on camera, that just looked really nice.
Yeah, it's pretty stunning. Yeah, it's really sleek.
So yeah, this is a keyboard. Once again, the super reliable switches. You have full RGB, of course. Same kind of functionality that you see on the CK721 when we're talking about, that type of customization when it comes to color. If that was your thing.
And as we mentioned earlier, this actually has the floating keys layout.
Yes.
So this is even easier to clean.
Yeah, since we
There's
end up.
no excuse not to clean it, right?
You still won't clean it. We know. You still won't.
Do is kind of pick it up and tap it a little bit, and everything will just fall out.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely easier, especially if you have like the air can,
Yes, which would be perfect.
Just blow it, then it all gets on your desk, and then it looks gross, and then you just push.
And then you clean those, right? You clean those too,
push
right?
Push it off to the floor.
Push
it off to the floor.
I can't listen to it any longer. I simply can't.
My wife was gonna kill me. She's like, "That's what you do." I never knew. Just put it on the floor.
You've been outed.
I know.
Oh no.
Hopefully she's not watching. No.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, so definitely easier to clean. Make sure maybe take it outside when you do it, and then blow some air on it.
So my next question that I have about this is, what type of switches are these?
Yes. So these would be. Let's see if I have a slide for that instead of just. Are we not working? Is it working now? Yeah. Okay. Well, these are kind of features we already went with. RGB sidebar and the dual cap. No, I mean, so in the switches, yeah, definitely available in the standard, right? The red, blue, and brown.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So whichever you prefer.
The TTC keycap. So whichever you prefer.
So feel free to pick your poison.
Yeah, pick your poison.
Great. I like it.
Yep. All right. So sweet.
Is this available now?
So this one is coming soon as well.
Coming soon.
This one is coming soon.
Love it.
Within the next few months. So I don't think as late as Santa, but so fall.
Okay, fall. All right, that's a little bit sooner than some of the products that we've been talking about today.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so keep an eye out for this for sure. Now, I do believe we have another little brother product.
I think we do. Yeah,
All
we
right.
have one, and it's actually, and so that's just kind of misleading, right? I think is it working? Can we switch slides? There it goes. Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, which would be this one. So yes, I see why you would say it's the little brother because it's one number off of
Mouse is one number off.
right.
Is
This
it not a little brother?
Not really.
Okay.
Yeah, not really.
So maybe it's a cousin.
Cousin. Yeah. Okay.
cousin.
I'll go.
All right, great.
Go with cousin. This one ends up, and if we can get our little stagehand maybe to give me that one, the CK. I want it to magically appear again from the bottom.
Ooh.
There we go. CK350.
We magicked it up.
So this one, yeah. So of course, same kind of set of features. We're talking about RGB, all that good stuff. The functionality, you can change the colors. But what's really special about this one is it has optical switches.
Okay. And
Yes.
for someone who does not know, what are those?
So optical switches are optical. No.
Wow. Who would have
Learn
guessed?
something every day. No. So and we're
Sorry if we have a little bit more technical
we're
difficulties.
having some technical difficulties.
What we are is festive. Cooler Master
This
is the color purple.
Cooler Master
And
Purple.
so we decided today we would put a little Instagram filter over our camera
This was 100% intentional.
on purpose.
Yes.
What do you think of our new beautiful hues?
I actually
You
like it.
enjoy them?
I think it
Yeah.
almost has like this retro kind of feel.
It is a little bit. Yeah, there we
Oh,
go.
there
And
we
we're
go.
back. All right. So that was
Bummer.
just a cute little intermission to keep you on your toes. You know how it goes.
Make sure you're paying attention.
Exactly. Liven you up a little bit.
Um,
We haven't gotten near enough questions from the live chat. We haven't
not
gotten
yet?
near enough. I told you all, send us your questions. If you have any questions about any of these products, just
Yeah.
drop it in the chat and I will be taking a look at them so that we can give them an answer.
Yeah, we'd love to, talk about all this stuff. So I think we should be moving along because I think I
Yes.
have a finger saying like we're really slow.
I
But-
wasn't going to say anything. I'm having a grand old time here.
Yeah, but that's okay. With the CK, 351, definitely gotta talk about it because as you asked, optical.
Optical
So
switches.
it's our first optical board.
Mhm.
And so when we're talking about the CK721, our other keyboards, the CK352, they're mechanical.
Mhm.
So what is different mechanical, you basically have a switch, you're pushing it down, there's a spring, it actuates. With optical, it's like a laser, basically. So it's a
Wow, okay.
light. And so really there's no like moving part.
So
Push
cats
it down.
would love it, basically.
Basically, if they could get in there to see it.
They could see it, they'd be
They would love
obsessed. If you're a cat lover, this is a keyboard for you. You're welcome.
But yeah, when you end up pushing it, you basically end up kind of breaking a plane,
Sure.
and then it knows that the key was actuated.
Okay.
So that means in terms of durability, the switch lasts super long. It's something
Okay.
like a 100 million clicks, almost double mechanical.
Okay.
Just because it's just less wear and tear. As I said, there's none of that, grinding parts touching one another. It's just that optical.
So tell me, I consider myself a heavy keyboard user. I use my keyboard a lot.
Yeah.
But durability is not necessarily something I ever really thought about.
Yeah.
So what kind of user would really need to say, durability is something I should think about?
Maybe like a rage quitter.
So basically my brother, he's not a rage quitter or a rager. He doesn't
Just
throw his keyboards,
really
but
passionate,
he's
right?
just a very
Yeah.
tippy tappy kind of tapper,
Yeah,
kind of writer there.
I mean, there's durable, yeah, for sure. There's something where there's some people that are just really super rough, or if it's in a way where you're maybe clumsy, you
Okay.
drop stuff, or if you're like me, like a businessman, and you may like travel. Right.
Business smart.
Yes. Super professional businessman with my CK721.
Mm-hmm.
And I travel, throw it in my backpack.
Oh, okay.
And just having that durability, that aluminum top plate, it's not some cheap little keyboard.
The other thing that I like about the aluminum top plate is it does have this, again, subtle color variation between
Yep.
the very black keys and the brushed aluminum that you
Yes.
have here. So you have that silver black kind of subtle color differences as well.
Yeah, and the brushed aluminum also makes it kind of easier to clean. I think it's able to kind of just wipe it off.
Great.
And kind of mentioning cleaning, since it is optical, this has water and dust resistant. So
Really?
yeah. So
And
you
is
can.
that a feature of most optical switches?
Yeah, because basically, as you said, you're kind of removing the electrical parts that when you end up pushing a switch, so it ends up having just more protection, and it's more of an
Awesome.
enclosed switch, basically.
Okay.
So yeah, it ends up being able to be more. I don't take it swimming. Don't take
Okay.
it into a bathtub. I wouldn't recommend.
So
But-
two different scenarios here, and you'll tell me which is going to survive.
Sure.
My dog runs in from outside, and she was accidentally running in the sprinklers, and she shakes right next to my desk.
Okay.
And a few little splatters get on the keyboard.
Okay.
And then that never happened, just for the record. It's a hypothetical. And then the other scenario is you're reaching to get your bottle of water while you're streaming, and the whole thing falls over
Okay.
onto your keyboard. Like, which is it surviving better?
Both.
Right.
Yeah. No. Definitely both.
That's amazing.
yeah.
Both hypotheticals have never happened to me.
Yes.
Just for the record.
And I can tell. No,
But this keyboard would just outlast those.
yes,
That's
definitely.
amazing.
I think no dunking in a
Sure.
sink. But
Sure.
in terms of any sort of splashes or bills, yeah.
Wasn't there a comedy sketch that came out where everybody had moved their office into a pool? I seem to remember a comedy sketch like that, and it was
Maybe.
so funny because they had laminated all their papers and they had their stapler with them, and they were all in like an Olympic-sized pool.
Yeah,
So this is not for that then.
I wouldn't say that.
Great, cool. Good note.
Good to know, though, right? But in terms of normal usage scenarios on your desk, any sort of spills, yeah, definitely. Water, of course, is the safest. If there's anything else, you could end up probably even trying to rinse it down. So coffee, I know you're a
Sure.
coffee
Yes,
drinker.
big
Coffee
lover.
gets sticky, right?
Some-
So
Not mine because I don't put milk and sugar in it because I just like it pure,
pure coffee.
dark. Yes.
But yeah, if that ends up spilling, I would actually end up going out and probably kind of washing it off
Right.
with water too.
So for safety, of course, you want to make sure you unplug it from the computer before you go rinsing it off. But that's amazing to know.
Yeah, so
Yeah, that's
definitely a good feature. So yeah, definitely durable. And as I said, the first optical. And what's really great of this one, the price point will be a lot of optical keyboards end up being more on the pricey side.
Of
The price point
course.
of this one, I don't think I have that exactly where I can share the price point right now, but it will be very competitive.
That's
Very good
awesome.
price point.
That's a really good note too.
Yep.
To take notes if you want to be on that cutting edge technology with the optical switches, or if you
Yeah.
just are the type of person that needs water resistant technology.
Yeah.
If you're just that type of person, it's a good note for you.
Yeah. Let's see. Can I switch? Oh, another big feature. I'm sorry, I have to talk about this one. I know I've been going on for a long time, but peripherals are super cool. So I'm sure the audience can, forgive me.
Hang in there.
Hot swappable. I cannot forget this. So when we're talking about the switches being red, brown, blue, and stuff like that, if you end up looking at the slide right now, you can see different switches. So
All
with
three
this
are on
one-
there.
Yeah. So with this one, this is they're hot swappable. So you can actually remove the switch and put in another one, and it actually just pops in. So that's something that ends up. I don't know why you would want to do it like we have it in the picture.
I
Have,
probably wouldn't.
different rows, but you
I'm
can
saying
do it
the WASD might want to be a different feel.
exactly. Something
That's
like
awesome.
for gaming, WASD or weapon switching, or even your modifiers, right? Something on the
Caps lock
side.
button, my
Yeah.
shift key.
Having those, usually you can go those a little heavier, so maybe those would be kind of like a blue, or like the click. But then you can end up having browns. I really, as I said, it's all personal preference. I'm just telling you how I would do it, how I plan to do it when I use this keyboard in the future. But yeah, that's something feature hot swappable.
That's really, really cool. And that's relatively unique, right? You don't
Yes.
have any other keyboards that do that.
That would be our first hot swappable. Yep, and our first optical.
I like it. Okay, so this is cutting edge keyboard.
Cutting edge.
It's the Cooler Master beginnings, new beginnings for Cooler Master.
As we said, hitting those niche markets. That's what we're aiming for.
So if you're the type of person where you're just hearing everything and you're like, this was made for me, when is it coming out?
Soon.
Soon-ish. Soonish.
Probably fall. Yeah, I would say September, October.
That's great. Well, that's even sooner. Some of the things we've talked about today aren't coming till 2022.
Yep.
So honestly, that is quite soonish.
Very.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So that's it for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Okay, back to us. Big, full screen. That's kind of surprising now. All right.
We have looked at so many fun things today. Yeah, but what I the trend that I keep seeing honestly is more efficient, more compact for anybody that doesn't feel like they have a whole office space that they can dedicate, which a lot of people need things that are compact. They don't have a lot of space.
Yeah, I mean from cases to power, the little small power supply, to our peripherals being like the 65% and being wireless, so it's
weight, being portable. Yeah, that's all really, really key.
Common theme.
It seems to be a common theme, and I think that that's going to be really, really good for people who are just working from home in the tiniest little corner that they could allocate for themselves. I hear you. I know you're out there, and these are some great products for you.
All right.
So I think we have one more segment. Just about.
We have a few more. So,
a few more segments.
So to let you guys know, right, because I know we've gone on for a long time, we're gonna have some. Next up will be something with streaming. What could it be? And then we actually are getting into some really cool stuff: chairs, desks, some monitors, and even something super secret top secret. That is amazing that I can't tell you right at this time, but
I'll tell you, I've seen it, and you do not want to miss it.
Yes,
it's really special.
Yeah,
not something I guarantee you're not going to expect it.
It's like a spaceship.
Well,
no, I'm sorry.
He said nothing.
Outer space.
Anyways, I guess you're going to have to wait and find out. We're going to take a quick break to reset for our next item, and we'll see you in just a moment. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Cooler Masters Summer Summit 2021. We've talked about so many amazing things today, things that you know Cooler Master for, like cooling units and cases, and things that you might not have known before, like peripherals, keyboards, mice. But we're also going to be talking about something new today that you definitely don't know Cooler Master for, which is something specifically for streaming. This is new for Cooler Master. Here with me, I have Maurice, the marketing manager of streaming, which I assume is a new position, right?
Yeah, so streaming is one of the newer business units of Cooler Master.
Yes.
And you know that we've had a long history of gaming,
Yes.
coolers, as in Cooler Master.
Mm-hmm.
So streaming is one of the things that you definitely can't ignore. It's been in our time and it's going to be relatively prominent in the near future, and it's going to
Very
to
much
stay.
agree.
So it's definitely one of the aspects that I think ties in gaming as well as technology, as well as the interaction of our audiences with everyone right now that's doing
And
any type of
anyone, people to people. I mean, especially with the pandemic, everybody had to do all of their interacting digitally.
right. And that's what I was going to say too. The timing of this falls in line with COVID, which I mean, no one wants it, but it's definitely changed the landscape of a
Absolutely.
lot of things when it comes to how people are going to interact. And I think it's probably going to permanently change certain fields as well
Absolutely.
moving forward.
It already has, I
Yes.
believe.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it definitely has. So, with that in mind, we're thinking of the Stream Engine as our, I guess, initial product into the streaming business unit. And what it does is it gears towards essentially anyone that wants to get into streaming because it's not exactly one thing. I mean, you could definitely pick it up easily, but there is a learning curve. And if you really want to make it
Yes.
professional, I mean, you're versed in that field.
Yes.
So you would definitely have to put your work into it, take your effort, and really learn the ropes on how to get streaming down to the point.
Yes, there's a lot to consider if you're starting out streaming. There's so much equipment that you need, and not for a long time there weren't any guides that would tell you all of the novel of things that you would need to get started. But it sounds like this new product, the Stream Engine, is made to be an all-in-one.
Right. I mean, emphasizing what you're saying before, you didn't have all these tutorials, you didn't have
Mhm.
people on YouTube telling you what to do, how to learn, what softwares to use. This one is geared for anyone trying to go in, I would say, beginner to intermediate. So it has a vast amount of features on it that would be targeted towards anyone that wants to, liven up their stream, make it more interesting. It's set in a way, hardware-wise and software-wise, to be simplified. So it's a lot faster to pick up on. And actually, we have a short video. I don't know if it's going to play.
Well,
but
we should definitely
let's
show the
just give
video
it
if
a
we
shot.
have it.
Yeah.
Now,
So
I
Henry,
watched this video last night, and
Did you
this really helped explain to me what it functioned as. One of its main functions is as a mixer.
right. So the Stream Engine is targeted for an all-in-one type of device where it combines, live stream mixer, your capture card, and then your actual broadcast. So you can edit your custom scenes on it and have everything ready and prepped. And at one press of a button, you'll go live. So most of your setup is going to be on the iPad, which essentially is the same way that you would do with OBS.
Great.
But
So this is optimized to work with an iPad tablet.
yes,
Awesome. And
So-
with the potential in the future for an Android tablet as well, right?
yes, we actually are in the process of developing the Android support when it initially came out because a lot goes into the software portion and the functionality. So we want to make sure that it's all stable.
Mm-hmm.
And with that in mind, we started off with it using the iPad and iOS. But as we expand, because we want to reach a larger audience and make sure that everyone has a shot at it, so it's definitely going to go into something where there's going to be Android support.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
This is really exciting because, for one of my collab streams that I did, I had to rent a studio space, but I had to find one that already had a streaming setup. But with something like this, I wouldn't have to have that. It opens up options a lot more, right?
right. So one of the key features that we had in mind when we were doing this was the portability factor. Of course, you still have to have a lot of your equipment. You have all your camera, your input, your mics,
Your mics.
but This is designed so you could have, like I said, the mixer, your editing, and your streaming all in one, where you can grab it. And if you look at it, I mean, the handle it's a handle stand. So if you need to move from room to room, it's very easy where you can just grab it and
That's awesome.
yeah. And for streaming with Cooler Master, we're really, really much involved in gaming, but there's so much more than just gaming when it comes to
Correct.
streaming.
Mhm.
So you have a lot of people that do like weblogs or conferences or small concerts, especially now when COVID
Oh,
hit. You have
absolutely.
DJs, streaming
Yes.
content.
Concerts were digital.
Exactly. So it's a good option when you have to move from place to place. And I think that really definitely helps in terms of the vast, like the broader audience that you're able to reach.
And I think one of the main benefits that it has is it makes a 2-camera setup simple and easy. Because when I try to do a 2-camera setup with what I've got working, disaster occurs. That's absolute nonsense. But this is so easy. You would just plug it into the 2 HDMIs, right? Mixer is included as it is.
Yeah. And one other really good feature that we have on Stream Engine is that we have 8 preset scenes. If you look on these buttons, it's not plugged in now, but these will light up red and green depending on the program and the preview source. So you can preview whatever scene that you need prior to switching over. And with a total of 8, you can really customize what you're going to be putting on there. So you have a lot of like picture overlays, you can do text overlays. And for the transition, we have like an auto and a cut. So you can do like an instant cut when you're going from one scene to the
That's
other.
great.
And of course, you have your slider that always makes it a lot easier to control the speed if you wanted to do so. So you're going to have everything here just as you would on the iPad. So we pretty much mirrored all the controls on the iPad.
Great.
And, physical buttons are great, but some people like to be able to drag and drop and tap. So you could do either or. And most of your controls are going to be on the iPad. So there's going to be the scenes that you can go into. And again, you have your picture overlays that you can do. You have your text overlays that you can do. And you can change the size and location of your picture-in-picture with a 2-camera setup.
And how did you come up these custom scenes that are already included? What do they look like? What are they like?
So
is there one that looks like it would be for gaming?
So yeah, we have definitely default presets, and all the presets can be edited.
Great.
So you're gonna have like maybe some transition scenes. Be right back. Like we have one.
Great. Okay.
You can have pause screens. You can have different picture-in-picture where one's in the lower corner, or you have split screens.
Awesome.
Yeah, and even in the picture-in-picture, you can zoom in just to crop the area that you actually want to be streaming. So that definitely makes it very
That's
easy.
really, really simple.
Yeah, and one other thing that I think is really great is you can simultaneously stream to 2 destinations for your sources.
Really?
Yeah, so if
and that's built in. That comes with it.
Right.
Wow, you used to have to use a third-party thing for that.
Right. So essentially, if you wanted to do like YouTube and Facebook,
you can YouTube and Twitch.
You can reach a broader audience with it, and that definitely will help you build up your streaming as well. And we also have the option for the USB. So let's just say you wanted to record it and do post editing. So you could do one live stream and the other one going directly to your USB.
Wow, that's awesome.
So we definitely hope with the growing market of like streaming, the Stream Engine will help people, I guess, pick into it and get ready and get their feet wet when it comes to streaming. Because
this also functions not just as a mixer and an editor, but also as a capture card, right?
It does.
So already you're simplifying 3 major systems that a streamer would have to learn.
Right.
That's great.
So like our tagline, streaming simplified.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. As someone who's streamed for 5-6 years now, this is simple. This is as simple as it gets. If I had this as a beginner, it would have been a game changer. Really. It would have been.
Well, hopefully this can move forward and help other people.
I hope so.
But you're already way too versed in that, so.
Well, you know what to say. The more complex the system, the more technical difficulties. So I might even simplify myself.
Yeah, definitely give it a run when you have a chance.
Well, and like I said, if I ever come into a situation where I want to do a collab that has a 2-camera setup, and their current streaming rig, or maybe I rent a studio again.
Right.
This portability is a game changer. It just is.
Yeah. Definitely it's for everyone.
Yes.
And all streamers.
Yes.
Different content. And definitely we want to reach out to that. Cooler Master is beginning with their streaming business unit.
Awesome. So
we-
you're saying beginning, does that mean there's more in the works?
There definitely is more in the works. So this is the initial and the first step. So this is our first
Very
iteration,
exciting.
of our streaming product. So as we move forward, I can guarantee you there will be more
Awesome.
coming out, and we'll see how it goes and what the needs are of people that want in terms of features and functionality for
Definitely.
streaming. And hopefully it'll be sooner than you expect.
Can't wait to see more. So speaking of sooner than I expect,
Mhm.
do we have potentially an expectation date for this yet?
So this one
Mhm.
is going to be released actually next month.
Oh, great!
So
So
in a
that's
couple
relatively
weeks.
very soon.
Exactly. Yeah, so keep your eye out because this is gonna be posted, on our platforms.
Very
So
soon.
there's gonna be news and information released very, very soon.
How exciting! Yay! So stay tuned to those announcements. I'm sure you can follow Cooler Master on Twitter. You can join the Discord as well. All of those announcements of all these fun products are going to be going out soon.
Mhm.
Thank you for coming on to talk with me about this.
Thank
It's
you.
really exciting.
It was exciting.
And
for me
I'm
too.
sure there will be more to come. All right, great. Thank you so much, Maurice. We're going to take a short break, and we have another segment for you that you definitely want to stick around for because this was exciting and new, and there's more exciting and new things coming up too. and welcome back to our final segment of the Cooler Master Summer Summit 2021. Back here we have KP, who you may know as our Peripherals Communications Manager, but will also be filling in with some awesome, amazing new things that I've been waiting to talk about.
Yes.
Desperately.
Definitely got some new cool stuff to share with you. Really new from Cooler Master. I mean, as we said, Cooler Master, you know, we have our bread and butter. We got the cases, we got the cooling, and we're really branching out into other areas. And so some of the stuff I'm going to show you, you might be like, what? I can't believe Cooler Master is
And
doing
honestly,
that.
when I first saw it, that was my first thought. Like, what was the inspiration behind this level of breadth, of branching out?
Yeah. Well, something that we want to end up bringing kind of that whole experience to you. So much, you know, we want to be really immersive. We want to have that whole ecosystem when it comes to you know, our just a setup, and really kind of ties into it where we have like the Master Plus software, where everything kind of ties in, not only, you know, with the products and how they look, but also in terms of the software to control them. So customizable both via hardware and software kind of thing.
Okay. So what you're saying is that you want Cooler Master basically to become my new identity, because it's getting very close to that.
I kind of like how that sounds.
It's getting there.
Yeah.
With all of the wide range of things that you're offering.
Pretty much.
Okay.
You can have everything Cooler Master.
Great. I really like it. It's very exciting.
Yeah, it really is.
Considering how community focused Cooler Master is, I have every confidence in the world that feedback will be a huge part of going forward and this expansion.
Oh yeah. And so yeah, a lot of the stuff that we're showing, not only from community and the end users, which is a given, but media partners too, and you know, channel partners, and you know, products that we end up selling. You know, we end up talking to around the world globally, asking feedback from pretty much everyone, and just be like, hey, you know, because as we said, this is something that we definitely want to end up branching into these new kind of product lines and business units is what we call it internally, that end up kind of playing and diving into these new areas that I think we have some technical difficulties with the camera.
Just got a little bit more tech issues, but as we know here, that's just the name of the game when you're live, right?
Yeah. So I can do some crazy stuff on camera right now, and you can't see me.
That's right. I could be holding up a sign that says SOS, and you'd never know.
But that's okay. I mean, they don't need to see us. They probably want to see the products anyway, so I might as well just dive right into it.
As long as you can hear us. And we're back anyway. So
okay, there we go.
The second that we bring it up, always it's fixed.
I know.
That's what a good team we have behind the scenes here with us today.
So the first one I'll share with you, we have a kind of our new product business line, which is called CMIO. And so, you know, we have cases, cooling, peripherals, all that stuff, and now we have CMIO. So what does that stand for? The IO is basically input, output, right? And so it's kind of what we consider the underrated foundation of every setup. So, you know, something that, as we said, when we're talking about peripherals, that you touch nonstop. But what about chairs? You know, you sit in a chair when you're doing stuff. The desk where your peripherals are on, all that stuff is kind of, you know, being utilized day in and day out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so very kind of underrated. It might not be things that a typical person might think about. You know, when you end up saying like, I want to upgrade my PC stuff, kind of really thinking about maybe your PC or peripherals.
Sure.
But in essence, that whole setup, that whole experience, is definitely something that we're going to dive right into. So.
Well, and that makes a huge difference, because now more than ever, we're spending more time in our gaming setup.
Oh yeah.
You know, because as a streamer, my gaming setup is my work setup. When I leave work and go home, I'm still sitting at the same place.
I know, I find that too.
Yes. So my chair has to be worth it. It has to be an enjoyable experience. It has to be something that brings me light and joy, because otherwise I'm spending too much time in something that doesn't work.
Yeah. And
I can't have it.
I know. It's yeah, and you know, who knows if we'll ever change, at least in terms of for COVID working from home type situations. But it's like, okay, I've worked for like 8 hours, done a bunch of stuff. Now it's time for me to take a break.
And you just open a new doing?
I'm still sitting there. I'm like, okay. So definitely, yeah, when it comes to chairs, super important. And with CMIO, this new kind of business unit we definitely want to kind of create that seamless, immersive setup with all these kind of products tied
I
together.
love it. And that's so important too, because I know a lot of gamers will relate to the fact that gaming is an escape. It should feel like that. It should give you that sort of feeling of, man, I really had a tough day and I just want to take a breather and play some games. And that full setup of being surrounded by things that make you feel good and having
Yeah.
bright, happy colors that make you happy, and that matters.
Yeah.
That
Definitely.
immersive experience does help that escape feeling.
Yeah. Speaking of immersive experience, I like that. We have kind of introducing our Motion One with the tagline "Feel Your World." So this is something. The Motion One is equipped with really the world's first haptic engine that's optimized for in-home entertainment.
Wait a minute.
Haptic.
Wait a minute.
know.
So this is clearly from the picture a chair.
It's a chair.
Right? But
Yeah.
it's not just any chair. It's not just your standard gaming chair. First of all, look at its design.
Yeah.
It is a little bit different than some of the
is.
more, the gaming chairs that first started coming out that you started seeing replicated quite a bit. This design is different. It's got that hammerhead
Yeah.
shape
Exactly.
on the top.
Exactly on the top.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, it ends up having the whole haptic unit that you can see down at the bottom.
Yes.
Now,
So for people who don't know what haptic feedback is,
yeah.
could you explain that? Just a
Sure.
smidge.
So,
General
haptic,
idea.
yeah, haptic feedback is basically kind of where you end up having. Well, the best situation that a lot of people will know that have experience with kind of this haptic feedback is gaming controllers.
Yes.
So kind of that rumble, that basically is what we would call haptic feedback. So bringing that experience where you're playing a game and then whatever, you throw a grenade and it kind of rumbles, bringing that kind of experience to basically a chair. So having that 4D experience where you're watching a movie and you have a rumble,
Yes.
your chair can actually end up simulating that.
So I know in some theme parks they have some experiences that claim
yeah.
to be, Honey, I Shrunk the Audience.
Yeah.
They have the little spurts of water or air that come out at your face that are kind of like, little jokes that are, it's meant to be an immersive experience.
Yeah.
So this isn't going to squirt air at your face. I
No.
assume not. But the idea is that it creates the feeling on your actual body that you're inside the game.
Absolutely.
And that helps with immersive experiences.
Yep. Yeah. So this is the Motion One is designed in close collaboration with D-Box, and it's a really, looking at it, of course, we've done chairs in the past, but of course, when we're talking about haptic feedback in a chair, that's a totally unique product to Cooler Master.
And it's really cutting edge technology. I mean,
Yeah.
that's something I know AR and VR are working their way through.
Yep.
We're past the early adopter phase and we're into the next phase of use and technology. And I think haptic technology is really close right behind them.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody talks about VR visuals,
Mhm.
but I love VR technology. I've been to a VR convention in LA, and haptic controls and haptic feedback is something that's right behind that.
Yeah.
And they're very closely
Very
related.
close. Yeah, no, and I think we're going to see just more and more of that in the future. And so for Cooler Maps, basically this is kind of our first step, and incorporating it into a chair for that immersive 4D cinema and gaming experience.
Yes.
Yeah, from the comfort of your own home. You don't have to go to a theme park and get water shot at your face. You
Exactly.
can actually, experience your own games and stuff
Yes.
from home.
And I think one of the things to note is that as the technology improves, there's going to be more and more applications. So it's not just going to be when you fire a grenade, you feel a rumble. There's going to be more that you would never even believe, and you're really going to feel like you're in the world.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
So for this one, the concept behind the Motion One is, it's definitely sculpted for all body types. People come in all shapes and sizes, and so something like that is being able to offer a chair that's ergonomic. No matter your body type, that's something that we ended up striving for with this chair as well, and to kind of have that, where you can change the height and control it all. Something for
That's
me.
good.
I'm a pretty tall guy too, so
And I'm the opposite.
yeah, exactly.
We
So
would need opposite chairs, or we would need something like
The
this
Motion
that's
One.
customizable.
Yep.
Yes.
Let's see if I can move on. Where am I? Yeah, and well, you did mention that whole, and that's kind of like our identity too. We want to end up kind of bringing in this new iconic hammerhead signature look.
I love it.
Yeah,
I think it's so
something to make it more distinct, you know,
Yes.
and have that kind of this distinct trimming of this hammerhead design, so you can know at
And
right-
there's something about it that makes it more immersive too, because when you're sitting back, these chairs are designed to have a profile that isn't really seen when
Yeah.
you're streaming.
Mhm.
But this is actually made to, these wings would provide a little bit more immersion, a little bit of coverage to make you feel more in the world of the game that you're playing.
Yep. Yeah.
I love it. Everything was so thought through. I'm really excited about this. I don't know if you can tell.
Yeah, and so we end up having, of course, it being what we would consider kind of this gaming immersive chair, of course. Headrest, armrest, lumbar support, all adjustable depending on your shape and size and how you're sitting, and kind of just like this rapid removal, whether it moves up. I know some gaming chairs might just kind of have a cushion that's kind of either wrapped around or in between. So this one is definitely more kind of solid on there, so make it more easily adjustable. And as you said, with the D-Box haptic engine, it really is something of a technical marvel. We worked really closely with them, and their experience in the world of haptic is really well known. They do world class like racing simulators.
Oh,
basically.
that's so neat.
Yeah, and so this is kind of the first one that would be kind of released working with them in a kind of a chair for video games and music and stuff like that. And kind of mentioning that since we are working with them, we have access right off the box, kind of their comprehensive game and movie.
Wow.
So there's over like 2,000 titles that are already kind of compatible, your AAA games and a bunch of movies.
That's really
That
exciting.
works immediately. Yeah, so games like
games and movies.
yeah, games and movies. Something like Assassin's Creed, Valhalla, some racing games like F1 2020, kind of all have that extra level of immersion with the Motion One.
That's so cool. I mean, if you really think about it, one of the core things about immersion is your senses, and we've taken very good care of the sense of our eyes and our ears, but the one that we just haven't is how it really feels.
Yeah.
And so that sense, being able to kick that up a notch, it's gonna really just take everything to the next level.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I'm gonna have to try to pull some strings and see if I can get one. So if you guys are watching, yeah, let's definitely get one for testing purposes. Really,
Right.
Yeah,
All those focus groups.
gotta test it.
You gotta get the feedback.
Yeah, so let's get one in my house as soon as possible. But yeah, so that's for this one. Next up, we end up having the hybrid one. So this one we're calling kind of the best of both worlds. This kind of sits in between or bounces. I don't know kind of the right word for it as I'm making it up, but basically work and play. Right, so something that's comfortable, of course, if you end up wanting to use it primarily just for work, gaming, or both. Yeah, and so that's what this is. Really kind of designed with this hybrid kind of usage scenario in mind. So, and as we said, sitting at your desk for long periods of time, whether it's work and play, we're all in the same spot. Anyone who's really watching this right now probably is in the same situation as
Yes,
because mostly we're probably gamers.
Now, is that a mesh back?
That is a mesh back.
Nice and cool on those hot summer months. I'll tell you, Southern California just gets hotter every year.
It definitely is getting really hot. So this is something we're calling Muscle Flex. So Muscle Flex mesh that's stretched across, and it's this cold molded foam, and kind of really strikes that perfect balance between like strength and being flexible enough to move as you kind of sit back in it.
Love it. That's great.
So
Crucial.
Yep.
Crucial in those hot summer months.
Hotter and hotter. I know.
And more humid. California's not supposed to be humid.
It felt real
been
humid
this
today,
week.
right?
Oh.
I'm really not used to that.
No, it's very unusual for here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm used to that. I used to live in Taiwan, and that was super humid.
That's humid.
But and so I used to love being here when it's all dry, and now I'm just like, what's going on?
You're losing it.
So hopefully it changes. But yeah. So with this one, with the hybrid, same thing as kind of the Motion One. Everything is adjustable, whether it's the armrest, the lumbar support as well, of course, the height and all that good stuff.
And that's really great, especially if you are sharing your setup with maybe a sibling or someone else that lives in your home. If you don't have two separate setups for two separate people, that customizable chair is really crucial to being able to. So if Christmas is rolling around and you really want a Christmas gift, but you have to make it a joint gift, that's the way to think about it. Mm-hmm.
Speaking of super hotness, and especially in California and in some other parts of the world, we have
My goodness.
cooling series.
Segue.
No, right? That was like it was almost as if we practiced it.
Almost.
I swear we did it. We really did it. But we're just professional like that, Cooling series, cool in the heat of battle. So definitely, this is another chair that I want that we can get here. And so with something that we're calling cool in technology. These chairs, they're able to kind of extract your body heat as it passes through the cool-in fabric, exhaling that cool air back into the back of your seat, and so definitely kind of just leaves your body feeling cooler, drier. Right. If we're talking about humidity, so. Well,
and we've talked all day about the importance of keeping your components in your PC cool. We've talked about how cases have to be efficient, how fans have to be efficient, and where does that heat go? Into your room, right? And so a lot of times gaming rooms can be the hottest room in the house. Yep. And you want to make sure that you're keeping that cool as well to keep your components working as best they can. But that cooling chair is going to be crucial when your gaming room is the hottest room in the house.
Especially during the hot summer months.
Or if, like me, you're streaming a PS4 game. So not only is your PC blaring out heat, your PS4 is blaring out heat as well. And then you get your streaming lights. It can be a lot. So cooling chair, it's a luxury.
Yeah.
So it's great. It's worth it.
I definitely, this is something that I'm looking forward to for sure. I haven't used it yet. And so this is something that definitely once we get it in the office, I'm super excited to try this out. Because I like run hot. I'm always, it's like that's the fight with like my wife where, I'm like, all right, let's set the air 65. Yeah.
Oh, I don't blame your wife for creating a debate there. Woo, 65 is chilly.
Yeah, I love it. But, and she's like, what about 80?
See, I'm an 80 kind of gal myself.
Yeah, so definitely something like this I would be looking forward to. The cooling yarn is made up of what of jade powder. Yeah, and so it's delivering a premium, cool feeling of material, and it uses kind of like it's this unique section, as you can see in the picture, the way it's designed, and that's all to help optimize airflow.
That's great.
To increase the breathing.
Wow, technology gets better every day.
I know, right?
Now, we haven't quite talked about the release dates for either of the chairs, for all three of them.
Yeah.
Do we have them, or we don't know?
Actually, yeah, so for our fans, let me go back, that are watching, I believe they all have the release dates kind of written here.
Oh, listed. Okay.
Yeah,
so if you missed the release dates earlier, you can check the VOD when that goes up.
So this one would be available September 2021.
Great.
Yeah, with the chairs, we actually have kind of the MSRPs, kind of a
awesome.
range of them, as well as the dates, because these are more finalized, and so we know these are coming. And so, so definitely, if you guys missed it in the beginning, we have those on the screen that you can check it out. But yeah, this chair, the cooling chair, is coming soon. September.
Great. Very exciting.
Yeah. So getting back to this, there's kind of a diagram that just shows the comparison between a normal chair and the Cooler Master cool-in technology, and how we basically are expelling that hot air and bringing in the cool air. So just kind of a little chart to show how that kind of works with the fabric, kind of creating this cycle of hot, sweat, hot, whereas with a cool-in, that hot air is absorbed into the material and kind of scattered inside, and so no real hot air is end up being released back out.
Yeah, the great irony of a comfortable chair is that the cushion part of it that makes it comfortable is very often also well
Oh
insulating.
yeah, like
So
memory foam kind of
exactly, but with the
Yeah.
cool-in technology, you'll always be able to sit on the cool side of the chair,
Yeah, cool side of the chair. I like that.
just like the cool side of the pillow.
Yeah, that should be like the slogan right there.
There
Sit
you
on the
go.
Cool side of the chair.
Copyright Brianna.
Interesting. All right, that's like your new copywriter here. All right, taking notes. Next,
And yet there's more.
and there's more. Next up, we have the Caliber R1S. Time to level up. So this lineup is all about personalization.
Great.
So from like Halo inspired cameo pattern, we got rose white.
Now we're sitting in those right now. Is that what we're sitting in? Or is
Yes.
it different?
No, these, yeah, exactly. I think that's one that's exactly on the screen right there.
Yes, this rose one. So this is gorgeous. This is like a light pink and a nice medium gray. So it's really, really nice, and it's not too stark. I know a lot of times, we get tired of the stark black gamer
Yeah.
aesthetic, and we need a little bit of pull it back a little bit and see something a little bit
Yeah.
more subtle, a little bit more pastel, get some color in
Personalization,
here.
yeah.
Exactly. So this is a really, really nice color of chair, and it's been comfortable the whole time I've been sitting here.
I know. 'Cause we've already been here for like 3 hours. Yeah. It's like, yeah, yapping our heads off, but all really cool and interesting stuff. Especially with these chairs, something kind of really new that Cool Master's doing. Whether it's like bringing in that cooling technology that we saw, or offering these chairs that have really personalization to kind of, attract kind of that gamer look. Whether you're
Mhm.
looking for I think I'm sitting on a camo one, right?
You are, yeah. But it's
Yeah,
interesting
so-
because this camo is almost a little bit geometric. So it's not a traditional camo. It's a little bit edgier, it's a little bit more unique. I really like that about it.
Yeah, and of course, with all of the chairs that we had, you got that headrest and lumbar support. Because even though we're saying it's a gaming chair and stuff like that, we're not forgetting ergonomics for the same
Mhm.
reasons we've been highlighting here in all day. So having that adjustability is just a must, really.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely, no question.
Ooh, but look at that! Take a breath. That
Perforated
PU
PU leather. Yes.
leather.
I'm
PU
not sure. It's probably not PU because it's
PU leather, yeah.
perforated, which means it would make it really easy to be breathable.
Yes,
So you're not going to have that bogged down.
helps with
kind-
air ventilation.
Exactly. Yeah, that feeling of your chair is going to stay fresh.
Which is
As it should.
And so next up we have monitors.
What?
I know.
What?
We went from chairs, as we said, chairs and
I
monitors.
can't. It's too much expansion.
It is.
It's
It is.
wild. It's crazy.
But it's something that that is when we're talking about that immersive experience, you're seeing that chairs, monitors the next
Can
step.
I tell you?
Sure.
This is 1 week too late. I just bought a new monitor.
Well, I think we have
Shameful.
the dates on this, right? This will be Q4 available,
All right.
2021.
Well, I'm hopefully going to need a new
So-
monitor around Q4
So-
2021.
Yeah, maybe your monitor will just magically break.
But here's what
That's
I've
the
been
best.
saying all day. This logo, the hexagon, I'm obsessed with it. It is so sleek and beautiful and cool and unique. And the stand is in the hexagon
It's in
shape.
the hexagon
I
shape.
can't stand it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I promised I wouldn't do another one, and then I did. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It was right there.
It's the hexagon. Yeah, I know. That's it's like the strongest shape, right? Is that a thing?
No.
No. Okay.
The triangle is the strongest.
Okay. See, she's smarter than me. But it is a really cool looking shape.
It's really cool.
I think it's
beautiful.
way cooler than a triangle.
I completely agree.
But yeah, so
Love it.
with our monitors,
And can you just see? I'm sorry, I'm
No, go
already imagining it in my office. But can you just see putting a little Nendoroid figure in that hexagon, and then you just
Yeah.
have your like personalized like office experience?
yeah,
It's beautiful. I can see it now.
yeah, coming soon.
I would put a little
I think
my little Sam Brendan.
all right. Yeah, so with the monitors, we got 4. I think that we're kind of announcing today.
Great.
Going over. On the screen, I think right now these would be the GM27 FQS, and the GM32FQ. Both are QHD displays with high color accuracy, 165 hertz refresh rate. Of course, for the gamer,
That's super high quality.
1 millisecond response time, which is, if you're a gamer, usually that's kind of the most thing you want. Would be the refresh rate and the 1.
And both are
millisecond
very
response time.
speedy with comparable monitors for sure.
Oh, for sure. And so, they're both designed, of course, with, professional use as well as gaming. And really, when it comes to monitors, our mission is to be able to provide kind of the best specs at really an affordable price, because monitors can end up getting pretty expensive, especially if you're going, with really high-end models.
No, this is a really reasonable price.
Yeah.
It really is.
I think these are all 4 models we're looking at here.
Ooh, and there's some RGB in that stand as well.
A RGB ring.
Wow.
And so the biggest difference between the two is that the curved uses a VA panel and the others are IPS.
Okay, good to know.
So those are the 2 main
Do you use a
differences.
curved monitor?
I actually don't.
I actually don't either, because I use 2 monitors in a formation, so the curved monitor doesn't work for me.
Yeah, it's something that I really want to end up using and testing out and just seeing how that kind of works. Because I've always I've always used a 2 monitor setup for sure. But having that curve, I feel like that gaming experience would end up being better.
It boosts the immersion quite a bit.
And so that's something that I really want to try personally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just to see how that works. So
yeah, everyone that I know that has a curved monitor has loved it.
And now we're on to desks.
What?
I know.
There's more?
There's more.
Sorry, you're even doing new products?
I know.
More?
Desks, completely new. And really, the way we look at a desk, it's kind of the heart of your setup.
It is.
Yeah, because everything's sitting on your desk.
Yes.
For the most part. Yeah.
It is.
And so, kind of jumping right into the products, we have our GD series. Now, these are designed to kind of really perfectly fit the needs of whoever you are, whether you're the gamer, YouTuber, streamer, vlogger.
I was saying it looks like it would
right
fit my
here.
needs quite
Yeah.
perfectly.
So these desks are built in with ergonomics in mind, with height adjustability,
Oh,
and
I like
with
that.
built-in cable management. Yes.
That's my language.
And with a reinforced frame, which can hold up to 100 kilograms of weight,
Wow.
which is, I think that's kind of a lot.
I don't
Kilograms.
know.
I don't know what kilograms are.
Very American.
Yeah, but 100 kilograms sounds like a lot, so we're going to go with a lot. It's like 50 pounds.
Wow, that's so much weight.
Yeah, gigantic. So kind of showing a little bit more of that. Champions set the rule. Our flagship desk right here provides everything you can need with the height adjustment, ARGB on both ends that provide ambient lighting effect, as well as like that cable tray that I mentioned in the back. So it makes it a really good companion, really good. Can kind of serve as that heart of your desk.
That's wonderful.
Dual ambient lighting.
Love it.
Yeah, the front part of the desk slightly angled downwards in order to not like shine in your face the light.
Very good, thoughtful touch. Yes.
Yeah, so that's definitely, especially if you are a user, that has glasses, that kind of really blind you. So the light's kind of toned down, whereas the back is angled up to kind of create that nice ambient lighting effect on your wall. Yeah, so
they really thought of everything.
Nice little thought that goes into that, and of course, all customizable and synchronized through the Cool Master software.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah. Smooth operate. I did not just sing that, but that is what it says on the slide.
You felt inspired.
I felt inspired.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
It's been very inspiring presentation so far.
It really has. And so, as you can see in this slide, that's basically the motor. It's this dual motor system that lets you adjust the height.
Great.
So whether standing or sitting, working play.
Wait, when you said adjustable height,
Yeah.
so it become a
standing desk. Yeah, ergonomics. I guess that you want to stand. Yeah, I want a standing desk too.
The motor you just showed, it's automated.
Yeah. So it's not like you have to kind of try to pull it.
Cooler Master speak in my language.
Definitely. This is something that, as you said, working long hours, we sit all day. So, yes, super comfortable chairs, but we should be trying to stand.
And I never wanted some contraption, some folding contraption to get a standing desk.
Oh, yeah, like those ones. Yeah. Having it built into a desk, I think,
Wow.
Because it ends up saving space too, because it's not like you don't have so much
Which makes
internal
sense
shit.
why the cable management is included in it too.
Yep.
Wow. That's a thing of beauty right there.
So next up would be the little brother
Okay.
of the GD160 ARGB. This is the 120.
Okay.
So all the same features, except for the height adjustment feature, the
Okay.
electrical one. So
Mhm.
this is for those that have maybe a little bit more limited workspace, because it has a little smaller
Sure.
form factor. And then we have the GD160. And this desk is what we would call all business. No nonsense, work and play desk, no fancy RGB, just solid constructed table with the added benefit of kind of like a full surface mouse pad.
So the whole surface of the desk is mouse pad.
Yep.
But then what would I do with my XL mouse pad?
Double mouse pad in. Now,
For the additional ARGB.
there you go.
That's what you need.
Double. Yeah. So
Beautiful. It's a thing of beauty. And I do like this kind of cutout shape that it
Yeah,
has.
it's
really
definitely
nice.
more
It's a nice
unique.
subtle
Yeah.
touch. Yeah, really great. Makes you feel a little nestled in your desk space.
And of course, the full mouse pad is also water resistant. So
Can I say, I've used the XL mouse pad for at least a year and a half now, and anytime it has any sort of spot on it, wipes off with a wet
yeah,
It is so easy to clean.
I think looking at the slide, that is kind of what it looks like.
Yes.
The water pools, it bubbles, and so it ends up being able to kind of really get it off your
It
get
works
off it.
great.
So it doesn't really get absorbed into the mouse pad.
So it's not only spill resistant if you did spill something, but it's also really easy to clean if you got, a lipstick
Yeah.
stain on it or something.
As we said, and it's also it's to prevent gamer stank. That's a thing.
I'm going to pretend we all don't know what that is.
But we all
Know what it
know what
is.
that is. So definitely easy to clean and maintain.
We spend so many hours at our desk. There's only so much you can do.
Yeah, and so no more tangled wires because of that whole steel
Yeah, that's a
cable
thing
tray
of beauty.
compartment.
That's a thing of beauty.
All right, and I think now we're on to the super secret last item of the day.
What he called a spaceship earlier.
It kind of looks like a
I
spaceship.
don't think it looks like a spaceship at all.
Okay, it kind of doesn't look like a spaceship,
Mm.
but it is still really cool.
It's really
As cool as a spaceship.
This
though.
is
Can
what
you
I've
say
been
that?
so excited to talk about because, like I said, I'm very excited and immersive, cutting edge technology. I'm right in there with AR and VR. I'm about it. I think that's the future. And this is just one step closer.
Yeah, let's see what that looks like on the screen. So this is from our new business line. It's a new business unit that's called CMIMX. And as you can see, what is
What is
that
it?
on the screen?
It's that. Oh, we're purple again. That's how excited we are about this.
Yeah. But basically, so CMIMX, I'll first say, like, what does even that mean? That stands for Cooler Master Immersive Experience. So as Bree said, she's all about that immersive experience, and that's what this product is going to deliver. As the name suggests of our new business unit, it's all about finding ways to do that. So kind of the first product that we're showing out would be basically this gaming chair pod contraption.
Yeah, I think some people would call it a gaming pod.
Yeah.
It is a little pod-like,
But of course,
it's so much.
it's
more than-
not. Yeah,
It's not like a pod.
and it's not even so much just for gaming because you end up having whether it's speakers built into it, it really elevates your whole visual, audio, and comfort experience.
So it has obviously a chair,
Mhm.
right? It has a monitor,
Yes, built in
and
right there.
it has built-in speakers,
Built-in
right?
speakers.
Now, are the speakers 360? Are they all around?
Yeah.
Amazing. I mean, just imagine. My first thought was, watch Jurassic Park in one of these.
Oh, I know. Can you imagine? I would
I'd
be scared.
love to do that.
I think I'd be too scared.
Or the Titanic. Like, watching one of those movies in this, so cool.
Yeah.
So it's called the Orb X.
The Orb X, and it really takes that immersive experience to the next level. By incorporating the next gen technology, making kind of VR, AR, and haptics all kind of combined.
So this has haptics in it as well.
Yeah,
Woo! The
semi-enclosed.
full suite.
cockpit is
Playing
Yeah.
a space game.
yeah.
What's that big one?
There's a lot of space games.
There's a lot of space games, but there's one.
No Man's Sky.
No Man's
that-
Sky
that's-
was not the one I was thinking of. That is a good one. Not Ark. One of my friends plays it.
Star.
It's got a bunch of different ships.
Citizen. What is it? There's something like that. Star Citizen.
Come on, Twitch chat, help us out.
I know. Come on, Twitch chat.
What
Why are
space games that would be
Yeah.
amazing to play this in?
we're like put on the spot? So we're all like,
No, my mind went blank.
Yeah,
I was just so mind blown by this device.
but it also ends up kind of giving you that. And I don't know. I still feel like it has this futuristic spaceship-like design.
Oh, it for
Like
sure
that.
does. It's very
Semi-enclosed
futuristic.
cockpit. Yeah, and so you can really zone in on whatever you're doing, whether gaming, 3D design work, or you just want to watch movie, listen to music, kind of having this in your abode to just kind of chill in without any distractions from the outside.
It's not Squadron.
Yeah,
Good effort, though. Thank you.
He's like just. I mean, if that's one that you want to play,
Listen,
you can,
yeah, it would be amazing. I'm just saying it's not the one I couldn't think of. It's not the one that was on the tip of my tongue. Ooh, no
Alien
scary games.
Isolation,
No scary games in
Scary
this.
games for sure.
No,
Fully automated motorized canopy.
amazing.
So one touch setting to welcome to whatever, start your journey in the virtual world. So yeah, it comes with a motorized shuttle dome, utilized via remote or a control pad that's actually on the chair's left armrest,
Great.
and it can be lifted to a height of
Just imagine
yeah.
sitting in there and just you're pressing your buttons. I
And
mean,
it's all
you
like-
feel like you're really in a
yeah, and
thing,
it moves.
like a mecha or something. Man, that'd be so.
Yeah, so it allows so yeah, it just ends up being able to, it can adjust the height, also makes it easier for you to get in or get out, all automated, and it can actually record and of course program your saved seating. So if you do have multiple people, you can have it
Mm.
kind of set to where you like it.
This belongs in the game room of my dreams.
It really is.
I don't yet have a game room of my dreams, but when I do, it's going in there.
Yeah. So multiple adjustments, as you can see, different kind of, whether you want to multiple, whether it's the monitor adjustments as well as the seat, you can end up changing that. It can move back and forth. And the footrest as well. It can move up to 90 degrees. So it has a footrest and you can just kind of kick back with your legs out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, the monitor mount supports 360 rotation. That allows users to switch between the monitor, either portrait or landscape. You can actually move it. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Very interesting. So you could use this to watch your YouTube videos, then you could switch over to TikTok.
Yeah, you could.
And the monitor would
Yeah.
just meow.
That's one big TikTok experience, Bertram. This whole immersive TikTok experience. Well, just for that. That's really prime
That's
demographic is what we're reaching for, TikTok. But yeah, I mean, so this is definitely something that you can spend long hours of usage in. It has the, of course, super comfortable lumbar support, 6 ways adjustment, for you to find kind of where the sweet spot for you is, just for you to kick back and relax, really.
Yeah. I feel like calling this like the Cadillac of gaming setups, but it's like even way better than that.
Yeah,
It's like way better than the Cadillac.
what's better than a Cadillac gaming setups?
Like the highest height of luxury
Yeah,
and
it really is.
immersive experience. Like the closest is like a spaceship.
Yeah, see. Look, I told you that was the best.
Of like
you.
what this is to gaming setups is like this is a spaceship
Spaceship.
instead of a car.
See, that's why I said spaceship.
That's how different
There
it
was
is.
a reason why I said yeah, so single and triple monitor setup, so you can end up having multiple, you can use the curved one. So it can support up to 3 27-inch monitors. And yeah, and you can customize your experience.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
So a bunch of cool stuff to share. Of course, it wouldn't be complete if it didn't have RGB.
Of course.
With the 16 million illuminations.
Wow.
Because, you need to show that off to everyone else.
Of
It
course.
wouldn't be a spaceship if it didn't have the RGB.
And that's true.
Yeah.
Real spaceships don't have RGB.
That's
but,
actually true too.
But they should.
But sci-fi spaceships might have RGB.
Well, yes, and the alien
Lasers.
videos from Roswell.
Yes.
When they see UFOs in the sky, sometimes they're all rainbows and different colors.
Yeah.
So I was an alien.
Different. If I was an
Almost
alien,
different.
yeah, you'd want to sit in this little
That's
8.
what I would want.
Yeah. There's presets with the lighting modes, of course, and of course, customizable via the Master Plus software.
Gorgeous, wonderful,
Outside again.
easy, all in one.
And Chan, oh, are we off camera again? So, yeah, because I can't change it yet. But hey, RGB, why not? On your chair and on the back of the monitor too. And as we mentioned earlier, it does come with 2.1 stereo immersive sound system. So it has that kind of built-in, around, so you can hear it more of like cinematic experience. And it's worth mentioning because of its kind of semi-enclosed design. It feels really kind of realistic and kind of you're there, lifelike audio effects. So
It's fabulous.
you can ditch the headset really if you're using this.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's really exciting.
And I think we have a video. Let's see if we can
Ooh,
play
I would
that.
love to watch that.
Don't think it will have sound, but
Yeah, it doesn't quite
we
look like
can
it.
speak words.
We can
Yeah.
speak words? Oh, see, I like it all in that purple too. I love a good rainbow
like it,
ARPG,
yeah.
but I love a good purple as well. Wow, you
And
can
wirelessly charge your devices as you
devices.
play. More features. Too many features for me to really mention. So
So they really spared no
No expense,
convenience. Yeah, this is quite a product. Wow. Look at that. That's so future. Like, this doesn't feel like it's part of our time. This feels like it's from the future.
look at that. This is a pretty spiffy video. It shows the RGB. It has the automation. It's moving there.
Automated shuttle dome.
Oh,
For most of us, the closest experience that we have to something like this is at something like a museum exhibit where they have dome experiences, or at a theme park where they have the 4D experiences. But the fact that technology is getting to a point where this is going to be accessible in your own home,
yeah.
that's really, really, really exciting. That chair sure looks comfortable.
It does. Can't wait to get one in the office.
To be able to play some VR games on that too.
Oh yeah. That would be
Really,
fun.
really neat. Some of the VR puzzle games that I've played, because I really like a good puzzle game, are exploration based. So some of them you're exploring kind of this ancient mansion or like a electrical warehouse. Like being able to explore in a unit like that would be really, really
It would be really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so many game titles that would really benefit from that for sure.
Racing games for sure as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I could see, some games I would definitely want to play on that. Like Horizons, I would want to play on that. I can see that running around. Yeah, definitely some really fun. I'm really looking forward to it. So let's get that in the office here so we can
And when
come
you
in.
do, you can just call me. It's okay.
I know, right? Yeah, because you are local. We can be like,
Exactly.
hey, I got this.
Just call me.
I got the spaceship chair.
I
from
gotta.
inside.
This is my only chance at a trip to space because I'm not a billionaire.
Exactly right. The billionaire space race. Yeah.
Who needs it? You have the Orbex.
So this is pretty much it, I guess. But
No, that's not all.
that's all.
You've
I know.
only released like 800 new
things.
products.
I know. But really, the fun doesn't stop now because we have that 8-bit adventure island that you watching at home right now can log on and actually check out all this. So we have this this 8-bit island that we created. Yeah, it's really cool.
And it's browser based.
It's browser
So you
based.
just go to a
log
website.
in. You can create your. I know it's being dropped in the chat right now. Probably.
Please do drop that in the chat.
So you can end up actually logging on. You create a little character, a little avatar, and you can walk around and get even more detailed specs of everything we talked about.
Is that a Summer Summit special?
It's a Summer Summit special.
I love it. A Summer Summit special.
Yeah.
So that's you're gonna want to log into that before it goes away. is what I'm
Yes.
hearing, right?
Yes, I believe it will be going out the end of the month. So you
Okay.
have like 2 more weeks to check it out.
Okay, so definitely walk around there with your little avatar and check out everything that we talked about today. We really talked about a lot. We talked about cases, we talked about the thermal line, we talked about power supplies, we talked about all the peripherals, and then we talked about a whole suite of new products that Cooler Master is branching out into that is really, really, really exciting. And most of these things are going to become available before the end of the year. And that's really awesome.
Yeah. I think Chan pulled it up. Look at that. Sit around.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So we
You
created
can talk
this
to
whole.
people.
You can talk to people. It is.
You can interact with objects. Wow, this
Yeah,
is
it's
what
what do you call it? Range based. So if you come close to someone, then you can
What?
talk to them. Yeah. And
It's
so
like, oh, and the little hexagon is everywhere.
yeah, it looks like there's about 15 people online right now.
That's
to walk
amazing.
around, and
It's like a video game.
it's basically a video game. We created this video game experience. There actually is a video game built in called Clicker Master. Yeah, so you can actually go on and compete, and I believe the top prize is like $1,000. In like if you have high score, you can get $1,000.
I gotta say,
products.
that's one of the cooler things I've ever seen.
I know, right? See, like you have different islands that have different products.
Wow.
So this is the thermal island, and so it's like ice cold island.
You've really gone out for Summer Summit.
We really did.
This is wonderful. Is this the first of many Summer Summits?
Yeah, I mean, Summer Summit, of course, this time it was, I mean, thanks COVID, I guess, we can't end up
You
doing,
have to adapt.
we can't end up doing, because usually around this time there's Computex. So that's an event in Taiwan that, we'd all go to, talk to media, have a bunch of fun. But yeah, it just wasn't happening. It was all digital this year. So we decided to do our own. We said, hey, you know what? If it's digital, let's do our own little summer summit. Definitely had a really great time, really good experience for this first week. Whether or not like this is the first annual, I guess, whether or not there will be a next one, I'm not sure.
You gotta find out.
But yeah, let us know if you guys dig that whole interactive experience. Let us know in the chat. If this is something you want us to, see us do moving forward, kind of a cool interactive way to display our products. It's like a show, really. You walk around, you see our products, you can click on them, get information as if you were at a show.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
It's a digital convention.
Basically, yeah, and it just kind of shows how we're adapting, really, to and so it's definitely something moving forward that would be really cool to have.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, the future is here. All thanks to the hard work of everybody at Cooler Master.
Ooh, and look at that. That's the pot. Yeah, see, like, the way it even looks in here, it looks like it's a spaceship.
Very futuristic. Yeah, that's really, really neat. Oh, I love it. Right. Well, what was the highlight of this stream for you?
So, I am a peripherals guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, my highlight is kind of biased, but the peripherals, I am so in love. So in love with the MM731 and the CK721. I can't. So everyone else that you talk to would probably say something.
They say their own thing.
Their own thing.
That's fair.
That's fair. But
and I love cutting edge technology, so I am all
to be honest,
the haptic feedback.
Yeah, the chairs.
Chair.
I mean, the desks, the monitors, and of course,
I can't believe it.
Of course, the Orbex really is.
And that's really, really, really neat.
Really, really cool.
Yeah.
So, but at least in something that we can. Oh, the case, way from case, stuck his head in and wants us to say the half case. Insisted that that's the best. But how about you let us know in the chat what you think the best is?
Tell us in the chat, and then of course join the Cooler Master Discord. Follow Cooler Master on social media. I think it's just at Cooler Master on all the big social medias, right?
Yeah. We do have some. If you're regional and you want to reach out to a specific region, we do end up having kind of regional Facebooks and Twitters and stuff like that. But for sure, we have our global accounts, which would just be Cooler Master across the board, whether it's Twitter, Facebook. Do people still use that? Instagram.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Yes, they do actually. Yes.
And all the big social media stuff. Yeah, Cooler Master.
Yeah, wonderful. So we look forward to hearing your feedback. What was your favorite thing? What would you like to see some improvements or adjustments on? Cooler Master, as we've iterated many, many times over today, is extremely feedback oriented, extremely community oriented, and we would love to bring you into the fold and make products that you want, make products that work for you. We hope you enjoyed the Cooler Master Summer Summit 2021 today, and we hope to hear more from you soon.
Where can they you?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Just little old me. I am Brianna White. I am also Strange Rebel Gaming. I stream video games on Twitch and YouTube, and so you can find me at youtube.com/Strange Rebel Gaming or at twitch.tv/The Strange Rebel if you'd like to hang out with me in my community of Strange Rebels. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming and being our host. I had a fun time. I hope you guys watching had a great time too. Learning about all the stuff we're kind of showing for the rest half of the year and some products into 2022. Yeah, so it's definitely join us on our Discord, social media, just like what Bree said, and yeah, let's just keep it going.
And if today was any indication, there's many more good things yet to come.
Definitely.
Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next time.
See you guys.